Why? Hell no. We are not going to see that movie.
I would rather stick my dick in a beehive than watch that.
Yeah, didn't that get like a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Actually, it got 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. What? It says 18%. 13% actually.
Why?
Guys! Come on, we need the content for the show! For the show! For the show! For the what? I swear to God, I'm gonna f***ing kick your ass, boy.
Oh, did you rope it up? Oh.
Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California at Undercity Comics. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 186. My name's Sean.
Rene.
Nick. And welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful. Huh?
It is.
It's a mouthful.
It is.
Hey, how's
First
it
time
going?
around, yeah.
Yeah, after a couple of times, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. How's it going, guys? How's your week?
Doing pretty good. Yeah.
Good, yeah. It's fun.
It was solid.
Solid.
This may
Valentine's
be weird.
Day, all that.
Yeah, no, we had Valentine's Day. We didn't do a Valentine's Day episode this year. We were all busy. Also, I'm in the Bryan seat. What happened?
You're Bryan, you got way more cuter.
I know, and fatter. I ate Bryan.
You ate him and gained his power.
I was like, I have his seat now. And that's what happened. Bryan is going to be doing research on this episode. We're swapping up the hosts. We're going to try and kind of see how this feels and everything like that. So far, it's feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, his seat feels nice and comfy. Why does he get the better seat?
It's got a nice butt groove.
Yeah, it's already got it molded in. It's weird. Like, how many times does he sit in this thing? Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Go ahead and like, subscribe. Make sure to do all of the stuff at the bottom of the video. You can find us at anywhere that podcasts are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts. There it is. YouTube Music soon. God, we hope. Make sure to follow all of our social medias at Keeping Up with the Nerds on Facebook and X. There it is. Hey, see, look. And everything, and anywhere else that you find real podcasts, right? You can find us. But mainly, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay? Guys, we have an interesting show today. So, we are going to do comic strips. We're going to do everything else. We're going to talk about Madam Web.
Oh, so good. So good.
We all had a lot of interesting things to say about Madam Web.
To say the least.
To say the least. It was a very interesting movie. I don't want to give away too much about how we felt about it. But how was your guys' week? Anything happen?
Went to Disneyland.
You went to Disneyland.
Disneyland. Wow.
How was that?
Awesome, because I haven't been in Disneyland since like 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Was did you go to Disneyland and California? Or
Yes,
Just Disney?
California. The animatronic quality for these new rides,
It's insane. Right?
crazy. Rocket, like coming up, like me and Christy were looking at each other like, oh my god, that looks so real.
It does. It does.
But the Star Wars ride, not the Smuggler's Run,
Rise of the Resistance.
Rise of the Resistance, the immersion.
It's sick.
Oh, so cool.
I'm afraid to go on it because I know how those cast members act when you're on it.
They're
and
a little rude. They are a
and then
little
knowing me, like I'm just gonna be like, what are you gonna do about it? No? This is all fake. This is all just imagination. I know what this is.
How much are they paying
What are
you?
you gonna do about it? Do something. Kick me out of the thief. Kick me out of here. I don't care. I don't care at all.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it?
Don't get the mouse mad. Don't get the mouse
I
mad.
will do whatever the goddamn I want.
What are you
I
and
love
your
this.
order gonna do?
I didn't
to
have to
me?
pay for a ticket, but you don't need to know that.
I got it for free.
Excuse me, sir. You can leave. No, but okay. Here's the thing, though. I love Rise of the Resistance. It's a lot of fun. It's a great ride.
Yeah.
I feel that it should have stayed to appointment only. I feel
Oh,
like
really?
it should have. I feel like it should.
Oh yeah, because
still
it's
have
now
that queue.
open. Like you have to stand in line for it.
Because now it's an open queue. So before, when the ride first opened up, it was just a closed queue. You had to get in early, and then you had to make an appointment, and then only small batches of people. The reason why I liked it so much is because it was a lot more intimate.
Yeah.
So imagine that ride, but less cattle. Because at a certain point, when you go through those doors and then you're on the Resistance like Starfighter, it's really one of those things of like, all right, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. You actually, when you had a smaller group, you could walk slower, and you can.
We were able to do that.
You can kind of admire everything that's going on, talking to the crew. You can like it just felt a lot more intimate. It didn't feel as like rushed, and not only that, but also they got to play act a little bit more.
Yeah.
Where they actually got to go like, get in your quarters, do this, yada yada yada, and it just felt more like a lot more fun.
The lady was nice. The one that like when you walk into the room and you see all the stormtroopers and stuff, she's like, take this time to document your capture. And I thought that was like a really funny
that's
thing
fun.
to say, and like, okay,
That's fun.
that's cool. Took a quick couple pictures. I'm like, all right.
The other thing I thought was interesting too is that the helmet stopped moving.
The helmets would move.
The helmets used to rotate, so they used to just do like this.
Uh-huh.
Like
Well, they were all stationary.
They were all very stationary. Not only that, but also I don't know if you noticed in the ride, the guns used to move. So you know the guns when you're going through and
Yeah.
then, like they're shooting out?
Yeah.
The guns
On the-
used to fire and come back and forth. That's why the ride does a back take.
Oh.
And then it stops in between each gun. I don't know if you
Why'd they
noticed
stop
it.
that?
They stopped doing it because it kept breaking down. That was one of the main reasons why it kept breaking down.
I've heard horror stories about that.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
This is
Yeah.
this is Madam Web talking.
Oh,
No.
Get out of here.
he's in the walls.
So, just to add on to that, it's
Yeah.
because they shut down certain show features
Yeah.
that need fixing or tune-ups.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times you probably went on a day that it was shut down. So what ends up happening is they close that area down or they make it stop working and then fix it, and then probably a couple weeks afterwards they put it back up and running again, full feature. Because when I went a couple weeks ago, or
I asked a cast member, he said they turned it off completely.
really,
Oh.
because I know that the helmets, when I went there last time a couple months ago, the helmets did move back and forth. And then the last time was like maybe 2 years ago that the guns were moving back and forth. Keep in mind, some of the cast members will say certain things just to make you believe, because
No.
sometimes it's not true.
No, because I asked a cast member when we went in, and I was like, "Hey, are the guns moving?" And they were like, "Oh, we shut that off." And then when I asked why, they were like, "It kept breaking down," because what was happening is because there's QR codes on the bottom on the floor,
I didn't notice.
so they're in the dark, and basically what happens is it kind of like scans over it, so it knows that it needs to like where it needs to go.
Okay.
So basically, it's on a rail, and then it just goes like back and forth. The problem was that it kept getting stuck in the middle, or it wouldn't go, or anything else. So it was just one of those things of
All right, let's get it. Let's get rid of it.
Just cut it, and the ride goes a lot smoother and everything else. But they never took it out of the I guess like the schematic of it or like the actual like dance that the ride goes through, because I always find it really funny when you go through that area and then the ride goes forward, then it goes back, then it goes forward again, and then it goes back again, and you're like, why am I doing this?
I feel like they use the technology for Roger Rabbit for this ride, kind of, because like just not so much like spinning nonstop like in Roger
No.
Rabbit.
No, if anything, the technology for this one is for Toon. It's for Mickey and Minnie's Railroad.
That one I wanted to get on, and it was not working.
Next time you're
and
gonna go,
Haunted
tell
Mansion
me.
was
That was
closed,
that was
like
probably,
completely like
Oh.
boarded off.
That was probably like one of the fun rides I've been on lately at Disney.
Haunted Mansion's closed until for another 2 or 3 months.
I don't know.
They closed the whole thing,
Yeah,
so that way they're gonna redo
for the Bayou.
Yeah, they're redoing the entire entrance, like the entire line.
Okay.
They're redoing all of that, and then I think they're also going to be redoing the face of the ride.
Did you see that someone posted a video of the Tatiana animatronic working?
Yeah.
It looks pretty smooth.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. So I mean, the Tatiana is going to be a cool addition to the ride, to the park. I'm interested to see how that ride kind of works.
Is it a ride or a restaurant?
Both.
Cool.
Because Splash Mountain is turning into Tatiana's.
They're taking out the whole
They took out
Song
Splash
of the South
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
aspect of it and just
which is, I mean, you're still going in that. I mean, you're going in that like that Cajun flavor, because
I
you're
like
going
it. That Creole.
that Creole, because you have what was it? You're gonna do like the whole Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
But they're leaning more towards Princess and the Frog.
I want to try their beignets.
Their beignets are really
I'm
good.
excited
They
to try
are
the
really,
beignet.
they are really, really
Beignets.
good. And also their mint juleps.
Mint juleps.
They sell mint juleps there as well. Next time you go, let me and Monica know. 'Cause,
Yeah.
what was it? We have season passes.
My mom was able to get us out. Shut up, Mom. Thanks. Love you. That was awesome. Yeah, she got us in because she works there now. She's working in
Sick.
California Adventure by the Michelada place, and where
next to
Mike and
Holly-
Sully's.
Yeah, next to Hollywood Studio. It's the Hollywood Studio area, Mike and Sully, and then you have the Avengers like
A little bit
store.
further down. Yeah. Yeah, so that was cool. And then they had the Chinese New Year for Year of the Dragon.
Yeah,
So-
are they doing the sip and save? I mean,
yeah.
the festival.
But that ends this Sunday, which would be the 18th.
Okay.
So, and we still have like 3 tabs left on each of our cards.
I
So we
honestly
need
I
a-
would have just ran over and just been like, gimme.
Dude, the char siu
If you
pork
want,
ribs.
I mean, hey, if you can, if your mom can get you in, we're going next Saturday. Me and Monica.
I'll see if I can get that day
If you
off.
can get that day,
I'll see.
it's gonna be a very different way of going to Disneyland.
Okay.
Trust me.
How so?
You're gonna get on everything.
Oh, we managed to. We ended up getting the DAS pass.
Oh, DOS?
Yeah, the DOS
so
pass.
that's what I have too.
So it's like, okay, boom, we're like in this ride. Let me queue up the next one. Where do you want to go? And
Oh yeah, it was great.
Let's go.
It's terrible because I'm not entirely injured, or not anymore. But they don't
I'm
need to
mentally
know that.
injured.
they
So
don't need to know that.
you
They
know.
don't need it. Disney takes away enough of my money.
Yeah, they make.
No, because you know what? They really ruined. I would do fast passes because back when they used
got
to just
rid
be
of
when they used to do the ticket one where you
Yeah.
just scan your ticket.
Yes.
that was fine. You can do that all day where you just scan a ticket and then you do everything else. But now it's like, oh, you have to pay $80.
An extra $30 for like the Genie Pass, which
Yeah.
is like this was free before. Now you want more money from
Plus?
us?
No,
Isn't
but-
it
but-
Genie Plus.
Yeah, but the thing I don't like is that you have to pay for Genie Plus, and then for the popular rides, pay me another $25 to get on that popular ride.
Ridiculous.
You need to
It's-
pay for Genie Plus, then you need to be
it's so
subscribed to
dumb.
Disney Plus on top of that.
Those
So
wristbands, the magic bands,
Yes.
were like almost $100, and I'm like, what is the purpose of this band other than just like
You can't even buy things with it.
you can't?
Not
I
in
get
in
it's
Disneyland.
interactive in like certain parts of the
You would
park.
think they would do that because they have that coin thing that you got. that
Yeah,
one.
so because in you should have gotten that when you were in Galaxy's Edge. They have a commemorative like coin that you get. It's a metal. It's like a metal Beskar coin, and you put $100 on it, and then it gives you $100. So it's just a gift card that you buy.
We got into the park like around 2:00, and we spent like the first majority in California Adventure, and then we're like, all right, let's just stick to the left side of the park when we went to Disney, and it was already pretty much late. Like it was like around 7 or 8, and we finally hit Star Wars Land. And I'm like, all right, cool, you know.
Star Wars Land is really nice at night, though.
Dude,
very
$200
pretty.
to make a lightsaber?
I
Are
did
you kidding me?
We all did it.
yeah.
Oh, so I'm just the odd man out.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You're the weirdo.
You're the
I
weirdo here.
am. I'm not a real fan.
Is Disney still celebrating their 100 year, or is that over?
There was stuff
no,
there.
It's coming to an
No,
end.
it's coming to an end because
Yeah.
they already took, because they used to have a 100-year coin. They're taking that down.
Oh.
There used
So
to be
the-
a bunch of different 100-year things.
The coins that were in downtown Disney, if you did this with your wrist with the magic band, it would activate.
Do what?
Somebody was gonna go towards the Krispy Kreme.
I'm using the Force. The Force.
Yeah, it's hard watching a Star Wars movie and then going like, is he a Krispy Kreme or is he just an emperor? All right. But yeah, man, what was it? Disneyland is always a lot of fun. Avengers Campus is okay.
Yeah, we just
You just walk through it.
walked through it. I honestly thought there would have been like
More.
a little bit more. Yeah.
It's not great. And Spidey's actually not that great of a ride.
No, we were walking by and I saw the Spider-Man. I'm like, fuck up, please fuck up. Please mess up.
Whatever that number is. you were so close. You were so close. It's only been 20 minutes.
I'm so sorry.
It's not? Is it sooner than 20 minutes? Okay, well, it's
13.
Oh, it's only 13.
Yeah, don't worry.
Wow,
It's
that's
gone.
so bad.
Because I was really hoping for it to like slam into the side of the building again. I'm like, I want to see that in person.
I've seen the aftermath. Because I went like
Left a big dent.
Yeah, it takes out like some of the wall.
Yeah.
What about you, Rene? How was your holiday, your Valentine's, your week?
Yeah, it was alright.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, it was good. Like nothing happened. Honestly.
Oh, nothing really happened. Nothing.
No.
You won Smash Brothers? Oh, not Smash Brothers.
Oh.
Mario Party.
Oh, yeah,
In
that was
the
fun.
weirdest
That was actually
way.
fun.
That
Yeah.
was the worst way to lose to lose Mario Party. So
I didn't
we
even
all-
know that was a
I-
thing.
I didn't even know that was a thing either. So apparently, we were playing Superstars at Sean's house. We're playing Super Mario Bros. Oh my God, we are playing Mario Party. Why couldn't I say it? Anyway, we were playing Mario Party, and Rene at a certain point gave up.
Yeah, I was like, I already know I'm gonna
Like,
lose this
all
game.
four of us
Yeah.
realized that, that Rene gave up, and we're like, Rene's he's losing every mini game. Every single time he rolls, he seems to get like a 1 or 2. Like he's just like, man, I'm getting
the Bowser I'm landing on Bowser.
yeah, he's
and
landing on
stuff.
Bowser's
Bowser Revolution.
Yeah, and then Bowser's just taking his coins for no reason. Renee's just like, dude, this is why I don't play this game.
Yeah, I don't play games at all.
Yeah, and then the midpoint of the game happened, and then they were like, Renee's gonna win, and then Rene goes, yeah, right, and then he uses one of the item which swaps with a player, and it was one of the funniest things that happened because he swapped with John because we were playing with John, and
John was just right
John
behind
was
me.
only 4 spaces behind me.
Yeah.
And literally, Rene swaps and goes back 4 spaces. And we were like, that is the funniest thing in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, we were like, of all the people that swapped with John. And then Rene rolls, and he rolls a 4.
Yeah.
And he walks right up to John.
Yep.
And then they all battle. Rene then loses all of his money to John. Then John lands on a Bowser square.
Yeah.
And then he then activates Bowser's Revolution.
All my money.
Where
Yeah,
'cause
you had
on.
like 70.
he had
Yeah.
70, John had 70, I had like 30, and it just went, all right, cool. I'm gonna steal everybody's coins and pass them out to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Equally
You get
shared
coins. You get coins. Everyone
Bowser
gets
turned
them.
into Oprah, and he just passing out coins.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then John, almost like he manipulated the game, ran into Chance.
Yeah.
And then stole mine.
Oh, yeah.
Stole my star.
Basically pulled your star and gave it to me.
Yeah, stole his star,
Yeah.
stole my star, gave it to him, and then Rene then gets all of the bonus like stars.
I buy a star.
Yeah,
because
you bought a star.
I bought an extra star, so now I have 2 stars. But he got 2 stars as well too.
Yeah, and then you get a bonus star at the
Yeah.
end, and we were just like, how in the world did this happen?
Because I get a star from starting basically being from the bottom and then
All the way
going
to the
on to the
top.
top.
Yeah.
So I get a star on top of that, and then you get a star on just what mini games?
No, it was buying items.
Oh, buying items.
Yeah, me and John
Yeah.
both actually ended up getting that star.
Yeah, but I thought the funniest thing was you guys ended up tying.
Yeah, me and
Stars
Sean.
and coins.
I thought it was funny because you tied stars and coins, and then it made you guys roll for whoever wins.
I know.
And then
I was
Sean-
letting mine roll until Sean hit
Yeah.
his.
And then Sean goes like,
Yeah.
then Sean goes, I got this. Hits it, hits it too. And he's like, dang it.
I just get up and walk away. I'm like, all right.
He's like,
I think I
got
get like a 6 or a 9.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
was. It was.
It
I
was a
think
high
it was a
number.
six.
It was a
It was a
six,
higher
yeah.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rene wins.
I
And then
win the
Rene's
game.
like, oh, I won.
I won the game.
I guess I won the game.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay.
Oh, Mario Party.
I guess that's how that works.
Yeah.
True Mario Party fashion.
I know. I wanted to win. I didn't.
But that was a pretty fun night. That was a pretty fun night.
That was a fun
Yeah,
game.
that
was
was.
a really fun game. Mine was fun. I had dinner with my brother and his boyfriend, me, Monica, and my parents because their wedding. They got married on Valentine's Day.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, they got
cool.
they got married on so their anniversary is Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And so my mom was like, "Oh, I want to celebrate. Bring both the couples over, and then I'll cook." So she ended up cooking for all of us.
That's cool.
Monica ended up getting me these like travel D&D dice.
Oh yeah.
They're like mini travel D&D dice, which fell when we going
Wait,
to
on
the
our way to
movie.
theater. You have them all still, right?
I have all of them. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Luckily, we were able to find all of them.
Okay.
I was like, what
and
the hell
everything
was
like
that?
Yeah, I know.
I know.
As we were walking, and immediately I knew what it was because it happened to me earlier at work. So I just need to take them off my keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. But she did that, and then she got me cake pops. She got me some cake pops. With
I saw the cake pops.
Yeah, the cake. I sent him the cake pops. It says, "I want which I nut in," and then it had M-E.
Nut in
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. And they were all
all the cake
Romantic.
pops
And they
were
were-
red and covered in white stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then she,
And there was one brown one.
yeah, and then I thought it was funny too because I saw him and I immediately went, "Can I take these to dinner?" And she goes, "No." I was like,
I feel like
I wanna take her to dinner.
You would laugh at that.
I thought they would have laughed at it and everything else. And then she was like, "No, I'm really embarrassed." And I'm like, "Why? You should
Yeah.
be proud."
Good for you. Tell them what you want.
Tell me you want a grandchild. And and so that's what we did on our on ours. I'm excited because this weekend we have nothing planned. So
we're
we're
just gonna do nothing.
going to do nothing in Oppenheimer.
I was gonna say,
Veg out.
watch Oppenheimer. and
What?
nothing.
Well, because I'm going to take the next 3 days because we have a 3-day weekend to watch an hour of Oppenheimer. So we're just going to split Oppenheimer into
That's an
an
hour
hour
for- yeah.
segments.
Saturday,
Just hour-
1 hour of Oppenheimer. Sunday, another hour,
hour
of
of
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Monday,
Finish
finish
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. I feel like that's the only way Monica could actually take Oppenheimer.
I feel like I might have to do that with Mandy. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get into comic strips.
Yeah, comic strips. What do we got today?
Have quite a bit of comic strips. I actually have no idea. This is where Bryan is going to be revealing his comic strips.
Comic strips ready.
Who's Bryan?
Okay, the person that's behind the camera.
Yeah, that's not
No, you
Brian.
mean
Madam
Bryan.
Bryan.
Wait, I feel like
Don't
did you
do
do this
that.
because you wanted, wait, hold on. Did you do this because you wanted to be God?
No.
He wanted to be Madam Web after
He wanted to
seeing-
be. He's just like, oh yes, dance, my puppets, dance.
Oh, just to let you guys know, we are not doing Halo Watch because none of us watch it. Because we only had to watch. We could only retain to
can
watch
only
one
watch-
bad thing this week,
There was so much.
and that was
garbage.
Madam Web.
So instead
took
of
a lot out of me.
Instead of watching Halo, we played Smash Brothers
Yeah.
and Mario Party.
Well,
good
Halo Watch
palate
will
cleanser.
resume next week.
That was a way better use of our time. Let's be 100%.
Yeah, eat
All
some
right.
pizza.
What is the first thing that
Yeah.
is on
Ooh.
comic strips?
That pizza was good.
That depends. Do you want something that will be exclusive for you, Nick, or do you want something and share the wealth?
I'm hosting this, so yes, me.
Okay.
Me,
So,
me.
Respawn
Such a Gemini.
reveals that it is currently developing a first-person Star Wars shooter.
That's cool.
It is based around The Mandalorian.
That makes sense. That's cool.
No details have been revealed about this, except that it's going to be a bounty hunter-centric Mandalorian first-person shooter game.
That's sick. I you know what I want? I want pre-show.
Okay.
Show me when he's just a bounty hunter.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get canceled like a bunch of other Star Wars games that actually did
Yeah.
getting the can, and they were
Yeah.
pretty far in development. I'm not even talking about Battlefront 3.
No, what was the other one? It was like 18.
Order, I don't remember.
It's like 1860
It's
something
in
or
there.
something like that, or it's like 280 something. It was just numbers, and that was a bounty hunter game too, and that was going to take place on Coruscant.
Yeah.
And everything else, and apparently that one was like 70 to 80% done. Like
And
they
they
did
just
yeah. Then they even
Swept
showed
it under the rug.
They even showed it at E3.
Yes.
They showed it at E3. They showed it at PAX. They showed it at a couple other cons, and then just things started getting shuffled around. Apparently, you know what it was? It was the Disney deal.
That makes sense. I figured because I know that's what happened to Battlefront 3.
Yeah, apparently it was the Disney deal because they were going through, and then Disney was just like, shut everything down. Like whatever you're making, shut it all down because it's not what we want to do. That because then it's not going to be connected to like our universe of characters.
That's a shame.
That would have been a sick game though. That would have
Yeah.
been really cool. Honestly, I don't know why they don't just kind of bring it back and go like continue development or remaster it and kind of bring it up. But that is pretty sick.
I want Battlefront 3. That would have been cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that transition from like ground fighting to aerial combat, no loading screen, nothing. And this is like almost 10 years ago when they were developing it. Like, where's that at for our games now?
That would have been really sick.
Yeah.
Also, you got to play as like clone troopers
Yeah.
and everything else, shock troopers. That
Clone
would've been-
Commandos. Remember
That
seeing
would have
those?
been, that would have been a cool game. That would have been a really cool game.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rene?
About what?
Star Wars games.
They're fun.
That they are. Next topic.
Buttons.
So we've mentioned this before. Alan how do you pronounce his last
Alan
name?
Richardson.
Richard, is it Richardson or Richardson?
I say Richardson.
But it's Richardson.
Is it Ritson? For what?
Ritch.
Well, he's the actor that plays Reacher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Alan
Thad.
Richardson.
Alan Richardson. Yeah. Well, anyways, he continues to pop up on the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because he is continuously being asked what his thoughts are on playing the Batman. He's set to appear on Jimmy Fallon tonight as well. I think just because of the Reacher show.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about it.
Because I think season 4 is coming out, right?
Really?
Like that.
I just finished season 1 this week, too.
Season 2 just wrapped up. I think he is working on season 3 right now as we speak. Yeah.
He does say that he loves the fact that people are continuously talking about him portraying Batman. His quotes, "The fact that people are interested in me playing Batman is a real honor and privilege."
Honestly,
He's getting
He
a lot of
is
traction,
Batman
man.
in Reacher,
yeah, honestly, Aquaman.
minus the money.
I feel like he'd be a better Aquaman, though.
Yeah.
Because he has that build,
Yeah.
the blonde.
Give him a beard.
Give him
He
the
was,
beard.
he was already
Lose a hand.
He was already,
you know?
he was already Aquaman in Smallville. He's Smallville Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was
Let's go-
before he got the
let's-
Richardson last name, and it was just Alan Rich.
Yeah. On it.
too
Full
young.
circle him.
I-
Full circle him. Yeah.
I had a moment
Do you
with that
only
in
know?
Deep.
Man to be
Do you only
born.
know Alan Richardson because of Blue Mountain State? That's how I only
Yeah,
know.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's Blue Mountain State and Titans for me.
Because I watched Smallville, but I wasn't old enough to comprehend like actors.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, but
I know that Cyborg was also the guy that played what was it? Jet Jackson
Yeah.
from Disney Channel. It was Jet Jackson.
Yep.
Oh, man, that show's deep in there. It's deep in
Yeah,
there.
Jet Jackson. That show was dope. That was a dope show. The movie was where he was
Action
a spy-
hero actor, and
Yeah,
then it's
and he was
just him
and
as a kid.
Yeah, and it was him living his life as a kid.
Yes.
And he was an action
JetX.
hero.
I think that was on JetX.
Yes. R.I.P. Man, that guy, that actor died a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he committed. He ended
committed
up
suicide.
committing suicide.
Oh.
He was very depressed and everything like that. Yeah, I think he passed away probably like in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Everything else.
That's
Yeah, too bad.
He
But
was on a show when he did that too. That he was
Yeah.
supposed to come on set, and then everyone's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And
they
then,
went to his trailer and he was gone. I think unfortunately he used a firearm. Yeah, it's crazy. But I do think that
Check
he would
on your
be-
friends.
Yeah, I do think that he would be a really cool Batman. Just as a Batman fan, he is a pretty sick Batman.
Or Jason Todd.
I think he would be a better Jason Todd though, because he has that wild factor to him.
Yeah.
Like
That edge.
that edge where you're like, where like if he was Jason Todd, because he kind of has the build also for Jason, that would be kind of sick, and everything. I
I can
really
see
like
him
that.
as also a Deathstroke.
Deathstroke would be sick. He would be a sick
Yeah.
Deathstroke.
Yeah.
I would love him as a You know what? Bring him back to the DC universe. I know he has a good relationship with them because he was Hawk.
Yeah, he was Hawk for a while.
He was Hawk for a while. So
I think you
he is a
sent
good
me the meme on Instagram
What?
where he gets his what's his name from Blue Mountain State? He plays what was the character
Oh,
name?
yeah, Thad.
He gets his ass slapped.
Yeah.
and then he the
main character doesn't do it,
Doesn't
yeah.
do it. He's like, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's like it just
He's like,
imagine.
"Good job." He's like, That's it.
That's it.
So, like,
You know,
you're not gonna slap my ass?
you know what?
I could just imagine him being Jason Todd and Batgirl like slapping his ass and Batman not doing it. He's like, not gonna do it.
You know what?
What? You want me to say good job? I want you to slap my ass.
Yeah.
You know
Come on,
what?
Bats. Do it.
With his Blue Mountain State like background, elongated man.
Oh, okay.
Make him elongated man, because he already kind of.
Beefy,
Dude,
elongated
that'd be
man.
hilarious. Have like a beefed
He's
up.
gonna look like Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, dude, that'd be so funny because he'd be all beefed up, and then you can like stretch out, and he's just like.
It's not even his arms; it's just his fingertips.
Yeah, because
Stretch out.
elongated man is always really funny, and
Yeah.
I feel, and he kind of has that.
He does have that humor.
vibe. He
Yeah.
has that vibe, so that's why I'm kind of like he'd be kind of like he'd be a sick elongated man.
Okay. I don't mind that.
See that?
Next.
What's
cool.
next on comic strips?
Item on the docket.
Let Netflix introduce to you a better movie than Madam Web. Netflix continues to release South Korean movies. A new one releases March 15th titled Chicken Nugget. It follows the story of a father whose daughter turned into
was
a
reading
chicken
this.
nugget.
Wait, a father whose
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah.
Daughter
whose daughter
into a chicken
turned-
nugget.
Yes, it's exactly what it is.
Hold
And
on. Which chicken nugget though?
the South Korean kind.
Oh,
Yeah,
those are
they
sick.
look like
Those are pretty-
poplars.
Yeah.
They look like poplars.
Yeah, they do.
No
They
one
look
knows
like
what
popcorn chicken.
poplars are unless you watch Futurama.
Have you seen Futurama? They're those little, little
It looks
little
like
balls.
It looks like popcorn chicken.
Yeah,
But
but,
better.
in a perfect
Yeah,
sphere.
Yeah.
Popcorn shrimp.
No,
Because
popcorn shrimp is like
our popcorn
flat.
chicken is very thick, and their popcorn chicken is more.
Is it?
Yeah, they're
Is it?
smaller.
Do you think ours is a little?
I haven't
bit-
had much Korean food.
All I know is that sounds hilarious.
I was gonna say,
And
why
I-
does that matter? It's just a chicken nugget.
It's just a chicken nugget. It's got no feelings.
It's like,
You know what?
Have you seen the trailer for it?
No, I haven't seen the trailer.
It's
But
good.
I was reading the.
it looks
I was
funny.
reading-
It's a series, actually. So it's
She looks delicious. I'd eat her.
She's a child.
No,
She's a child.
wait. I'm thinking. Wait, really?
Yes.
I thought she was like
like 15.
in her middle age.
No.
Oh,
Do you want me to
Oh.
read you the
We have to
synopsis
re-edit
again?
this podcast now.
Get out.
It follows
Shots
that
fired.
chicken
the
nugget. looked
story of
good.
a father whose daughter
Yes.
turned into a chicken nugget.
How old is the daughter?
I don't know. Might be underage.
I'm gonna watch.
We
I'm
need
gonna
to find
rewatch
out.
that trailer because she did not. From what I remember, no.
All right.
In all
Well,
fairness, this is the same country that we got Old Boy. So I mean,
Yeah.
Sure.
Is it a K drama or is it a movie exactly?
it's
a
a
K-drama.
South Korean
Oh,
they have different rules.
Series?
they do
Pause
have
over
different
there.
series.
I love K dramas. They, oh man, they make you cry. I'm not gonna lie. They like the whole concept. I forgot which
They
one
are
it
very-
was.
They
They're
touch the
tear
heartstrings.
jerkers.
Yeah, they touch the
Big
heartstrings.
time.
You know what? Honestly, I feel like I know I'm gonna get a flag. I kind of like K dramas more than I like novellas.
I agree. I agree.
I feel like K dramas make more sense, and like they like their story actually follows like a linear path, and their actual like emotional like pivot points
So
hit more than just like like I feel like that's the big thing that you get from novellas.
Yeah.
is more of the that's 100% of what a novella is.
Yeah.
just to reiterate, the daughter I think is of legal age.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
oh,
I
go
looked
for
at.
it.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew it.
Brian had
yeah.
to clear his conscience.
I had to make sure because I'm just like I don't want to edit this.
Well,
out.
I mean that'd be weird if I mean now you can put the chicken nugget in your pocket.
Hey babe, would you still love me if I was a chicken nugget?
Of course. Until you begin to
I
smell.
would love you
Yeah.
with some sweet and sour
That,
sauce.
that would, like, you know what? Honestly, I now that I think about it,
Wanted a bigger house.
I feel like if I were to ask Monica that, and I were to go like, "Babe, would you still love me if I was a chicken nugget?" And she was like, "Depends what sauce you want.
yeah.
What sauce
What
you
sau-
come with?
what sauce
What
are
sauce
you
you come with?"
Let's see, it's a lemon pepper.
Oh,
Like, what about if I'm like that soy sauce ranch? What? No.
Wikipedia has a bigger synopsis on
Okay,
it.
okay.
So I'm sorry if I mispronounce these names. Choi Mia, the daughter of a company president, mistakes a new machine as a device which helps her with her fatigue, and she is accidentally turned into a chicken nugget.
Oh, no.
As her father, Choi Son-man, and intern Go Bak Jon, who has a crush on her try to turn her back into a human.
Oh.
They discover unexpected secrets.
Okay.
There's that loop. There's that loop that they throw you for.
She's
know
not
what?
really a chicken nugget. She's a vegan chicken nugget.
She turned into soy.
Yes.
She turned into soy.
She turned into soy. Tofu.
You need to watch The Glory. It's on Netflix. It's probably the best revenge story I've seen for like
Glory?
a drama. The Glory.
It's a K drama, right?
Yes. And the way these girls and guys torture the girl in school, they get like a curling iron and they just like put it on her legs and they just like doing this stuff to her.
You know what? I do also like K dramas too because they are a lot more violent.
Yes.
They are super violent and they're dark. They're super dark. Yeah, this is also another reason why Korean TV in general is really cool.
Yes.
All right, what else?
Invincible Season 2 Part 2 trailer drops and announces a March 14th release date.
Nice. I mean, we all knew
Yay.
that it was coming out soon.
Who's gonna come back?
We thought, you know what? I really thought it was gonna come back in January, though. I really did because the first season came back in January after hiatus.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It looks pretty sick. I'm enjoying the idea of there's going to be an invasion that they're all getting ready for.
Yeah.
And then also the torture of the Viltrumites of Omni-Man. Yeah. That's going to be interesting too. I can't wait to kind of see where this plays.
What's Seth
Yeah,
Rogen's character again in the
Oh,
show?
Alan the Alien.
Alan the Alien. I wonder what they're gonna do with him.
Well, he has a bigger part to play later on in the Viltrumite War, but I mean,
I'm hoping that
I like where they're going with his.
Yeah.
I hope that Alan the Alien story changes a little.
Not
bit.
like from the comic. Okay.
I don't like his character in the comic
Okay.
because there's a lot of actions that happen with Alan the Alien that it really does feel like was written in there because they were like, I'm going to choose a character.
Yeah.
And who's a character that doesn't really matter all that
Yeah, it
much.
doesn't have
He's
like
Goku.
a lot of escape to, or like a lot of stuff going on.
He doesn't have-
in the
He doesn't
the
have a lot of
storyline.
threads to him and everything else. He's kind of one, and also he's also really one note
yeah.
in that. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't go the same way as the comics just because of how one note that really is.
Even Robert Kirkman has said he's revitalizing how the story's being told.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. Brian?
So, 2 more pieces of news before we get into some hefty stuff. This is good news for me personally. I like this. Cinerama Dome and ArcLight in Hollywood plan to reopen in 2025.
Hey!
Fun.
Who bought it?
I don't know. There's not much details to it.
AMC.
I want to say we'll keep it under the rumor mill because I couldn't find an actual legitimate source to
Okay.
it. But it is kind of strange that it hasn't been torn down or reused in any form of way.
You know what?
It's just been shut
Honest-
down.
Been sitting
You
there.
know what? Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't been classified as a historical site yet.
Oh, true that.
Like, because the Cineramic Dome has been. I mean, the Cinedome has been there since like the 40s.
It was used in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, wasn't it?
That's the 60s, yeah.
Yeah,
But I
so
think,
even
but I think
then-
it's been around before then.
Yeah.
Like it was already a staple in
Can you Google that,
Hollywood.
Brian?
Yeah. Of how long it's been there, but
Madam Brian Powers activates.
but I do feel like it's such a staple in like cinema and in Hollywood
Yeah.
where if they were to go like this theater is a historical site and you know it's only going to play, even if they were just go, oh, it's a historical site, it's only going to play the classics, that would totally make sense to me.
I'd go.
What
Watch
was
a
the
film.
first movie you saw in the ArcLight?
In the ArcLight,
Yeah.
Godzilla,
Which Godzilla one?
the remake,
Oh,
the
Bryan Cranston.
the Bryan Cranston one, because it had the
My man.
Wonder Twin powers. No, because it had the Godzilla that was shooting up out of it.
That was the novelty of it.
That
No, that was King of Monsters. That wasn't the
Was that
first
King
one.
of Monsters?
That was King of Monsters because that was the one I when they said that they were gonna put a Godzilla coming out of the dome.
Yeah.
I went.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my first
So
movie. I went to go
okay,
see
so
it.
it must have
What
been
about
King
you,
of
Rene?
Monsters.
The Raid Part 2.
Oh, they had the raid.
They were
there?
playing the Raid there. Yeah, I think it was the only theater at the time that my friend caught it, and it was like that was like the nearest showing to us. He's like, they're playing at the ArcLight.
Oh wait,
Cool.
no, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
You are.
Oh
Was
my
it
god.
Kingsman.
No, it wasn't. It was Inglourious Bastards
Oh.
because it was being played at the Cineramic Dome. That's right. It was Inglourious Bastards.
Really?
Wow.
Because I was thinking about it right now, and I'm like, wait, I know I went for Godzilla, but I was like, what other did I go for? It was a Quentin Tarantino movie.
What about
That's
you,
right.
Sean?
The Bling Ring.
The Bling Ring, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey,
Serious.
you've been inside.
It was like 2013.
I thought it was really messed up. I didn't know that for what's it called? I didn't know that for Django Unchained. Apparently, they told Quentin Tarantino and they broke contract.
Really?
The Cineramic Dome, yeah. I mean, the Cinema Dome. They did. So he wanted Django Unchained to come out, and then Disney wanted Star Wars to come out, and so but Quentin Tarantino already had a contract for the entire Christmas
The Force
season.
Awakens.
Yeah, it was The Force Awakens.
Okay.
So he had a contract for the entire Christmas season for like those 2 months, and then Disney then went, "No, you don't." And they go, "Yeah, we have a contract with Quentin Tarantino," and they go, "If you do not cancel on Quentin Tarantino and play Star Wars: The Force Awakens,
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
you will
remember
not
that
get
whole thing.
any Star Wars movies or The Force Awakens at all."
That sounds illegal. That sounds very illegal. That's like
Very-
blackmail.
Very much so, and it was so bad.
I
And
remember
they
hearing about that.
and then Quentin Tarantino was so pissed that he went when he was on the radio, he was talking about it where he was like, "Disney F me," like Disney hardcore stole this theater for me, and that was the main theater I wanted to show it in.
That's a
I wanted to
shame.
premiere it in this theater because remember Quentin Tarantino does everything on film,
Yeah.
so it would have looked amazing, especially premiering here. And he was very upset. He was like, I couldn't believe that Disney did, and not only that, but also a company that I made money for,
Yeah.
because he did all of his movies in Miramax.
Yeah.
He was like, I made them money, and they just totally wrecked it. He goes, if they ever asked me to do a movie, I would say no.
And that was for Django.
I believe that was for Django.
Okay.
Yes. That was
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. I forgot that happened. Yeah.
yeah.
It was like,
Quentin
Wow.
Tarantino was pissed.
Oh yeah, he was.
Man, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would. Yeah, I can totally understand his grudge.
I would kidnap Goofy and Donald.
Yeah.
You know, do the whole like
Do the whole
stuck
dance?
in the middle with you. You know.
then he chops off one of Goofy's ears.
Yeah.
It's all wobbly. Can you hear me now?
Yards.
I'm just a co-op.
And what is it? Donald Duck's like where Mr. Orange would be. He's just laying there. Yeah.
bleeding
Bleeding
out.
out. Yeah.
Bleeding out.
Bleeding out.
Mickey would be Mr. Pink because
Yeah.
he's gonna run off with the money.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god.
So the theater opened up in November 7th of 1963.
Okay, so in the 60s.
But apparently the news of having it reopen again actually came out in June of 2022. There were plans announced to reopen it, but I'm assuming that the date for 2025 is new. And it's going to open under the new name Cinerama Hollywood, not ArcLight Hollywood.
Okay. Does it say there if whether or not it's still owned by ArcLight?
No, I think ArcLight is done.
I wonder if
With
they
it.
actually showed the moon landing there at the dome because it was 1963 when we
Oh, that
landed
would.
on the moon. You said
I don't-
June?
November is
No-
when it opened.
November?
Then no.
Oh no, because we
That would've
landed
been
in
sick.
July. I think.
Yeah, we landed in July because bad monsoons in Florida.
Wait, 1962 or 1963? I think.
62?
It's.
I think it's either
think it's
62 or
62.
60, I think it's 62.
I wanna
but-
say
But it's in
62.
June because November there's monsoons in Florida.
If you know, leave a comment. Correct me.
Yeah,
I dare you. I dare you.
he'll find you.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I can only imagine all the movies that have kind of gone through there and everything else because I think that's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the one that Sharon Tate goes to go watch her movie in. So I mean,
With those dirty feet.
apparently she really did that.
Yes.
Apparently she really walked around barefoot and she would cut the soles off her shoes. That's insane.
Flower Child.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah,
What a shame.
that's-
That film made me really sad.
Why? She lives.
No, because I'm seeing the fact that she lived, and it made me think. Because I'm like, I've heard of Sharon Stone. I know what happened, but for some reason, it made me feel sad. Like knowing
Oh,
that
sure.
Sharon Stone is actually like the way she was murdered, and to see this is the what if, and seeing it play out. I'm like, Wow, that
The only unfortunate thing is Roman Polanski wasn't there because he's a monster.
yeah.
To add a little more history to your notes, it looks like ArcLight theaters were basically closed after in 2021 because of the pandemic.
Right.
And then so all their locations were permanently closed. But fun fact, here it says that they were credited for pioneering the features such as assigned seating, reclining chairs, and an in-house bar and restaurant.
In all fairness, arc lights were really nice. Our arc lights really were pioneers of like how a theater should be.
But the only thing is that they don't have IMAX. So they were THX certified. So they had widescreen formats.
And they
Their
did,
screens were pretty big.
And they did the 70 millimeters, right?
They did, but they were not IMAX. So there's a difference there.
That's kind of that.
IMAX formats are a lot more different.
You know what? With the new one, with the Cineramic Hollywood, I hope they put IMAX theaters in there, like some IMAX. Which one? An IMAX projector? That'd be kind of sick.
I want to see a movie at the Vegas Dome. That would be really cool.
I think it's gonna be shut down before you even get a chance to get there.
There was a guy climbing it. I think a week or two ago.
Oh, you're talking about the Sphere.
The Sphere.
Yeah, a guy climbed on top of it.
Do you know how much it is to watch like a show there? For like the bad seats, it's like $700.
So Eddie Burback did a video where he went to go watch U2 a couple of weeks ago, and he spent I think a total of like $2,500 or $4,000. It's like in between that number.
It's far too much
for an experience to go watch U2, and you guys can go watch the video. But basically, point being is what they show in the videos of the whole dome being lit up. Is like 25% of the show. Yeah. You want the next bit?
Yep.
Okay. So this one's going to lead into the bigger topics, but the Super Bowl happened this last weekend. GG's Kansas City for winning that one. Fun fact before we talk about the trailers. So as much as people want to complain about Taylor Swift taking over the Super Bowl, she only appeared on camera for 54 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, but I didn't have the
Swift.
issue with the time. I had an issue with the fact that she was bad juju. And I called it.
I mean, they won.
They won, but
They
the
won.
amount of times that she would be on camera and Mahomes kept fumbling the ball.
It's fine.
Bad juju.
The greatest thing from the Super Bowl, I would say, is probably the Paramount Plus trailer.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite trailers.
Not the Duncan one?
Creed.
The Duncan one is good, but I really like the one where Patrick Stewart's kicking Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Wow.
He can throw me higher.
Well,
And you just see him, and it's Patrick Stewart holding Arnold's head.
I just threw him higher.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Whoever thought of that
Peppa
commercial,
Pig.
Yeah.
whoever thought of that commercial needs a raise. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was
quick,
great.
favorite commercial in the Super Bowl. Go.
That one.
Okay.
That was mine.
Deadpool trailer.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger State Farm.
That one is funny.
That one's funny.
Dunkin'. I just love the brothers coming together and promoting Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
but besides the trailers, a lot of people were speculating that we were going to get movie trailers, but we didn't really.
Got one,
we only got
right?
3.
Oh, 3.
We got Wicked, the first trailer being shown in
Yeah.
the first. I think it was like during the first quarter.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. It looks nice.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting.
I like musicals.
Twisters also got a trailer. Hype for that one.
Right.
Really good.
Yes.
Nick's not.
I'm not.
Yeah.
What was wrong?
Twisters.
What was wrong with the? What's wrong with the original?
Nothing.
Why do we need a
Nothing.
remake? Why do we?
It's
need
not
a
a remake. It's a continuation.
No.
That's like saying
They're using
what's
Dorothy
wrong with the first,
in the trailer.
Yeah.
Hold on. That is a remake.
No.
It's a standalone sequel.
No.
I mean, Footloose.
Did you go to film
Footloose
school?
got the-
Did you?
I'm not going to film school.
He's not going to film school. He's
I
going to
know.
Rio.
I'm going to Fullerton College.
You're taking classes
Doing certification.
in film.
Yeah.
It's community.
But what about you?
Okay, first of all,
Community,
don't.
sir. A lot of great
Jesus
I know, I
Christ.
like
people.
Community.
Also, Footloose got the same treatment, and Footloose, the new one, is pretty good too.
Footloose was alright. It was alright.
It was good.
It doesn't have
I didn't
Kevin
watch
Bacon.
it.
Well, it does. Of course, it doesn't have Kevin Bacon, but
And this one doesn't have Bill Paxton in it.
okay. But look, it's
Well,
gonna be
rest in
fun.
peace.
It's gonna be a fun time.
Game
but
over, man.
The
If I don't
biggest.
see a delicious dinner from this new movie, because like how they have like what is it? Is it chicken fried steak or
Is it-
whatever? And,
I
like,
thought it was KFC.
oh no, it was like some sort of like steak dinners, like pile of mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah.
on
Oh
it.
yeah, when they go to his aunt's house,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
like
Look, if we're getting Twisters, I want not just
2
one
plates.
clow.
one cow flying. I want 2 cows flying.
I thought it was interesting that they had advanced the technology where a truck was attached to a drill. And they drilled.
That's what astounds you, not the fact that they're sending drones into a twister to stop the twister.
They weren't even really drones. They were just more like pieces of like Pepsi can or Coke cans that they just like sheared and.
Well, that's the original.
I have a hard time believing that there's a lot of people that have never seen the original Twister.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I asked Monica, and Monica was like, "What?"
Who directed
It's
that?
like it's such a great movie.
No, it is,
Spielberg?
but I do feel like
No,
it went under
no,
the railroad.
I got you.
I feel like it does go under the.
It was like
radar.
it was a disaster movie before disaster movies were a thing.
But it's not really. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It's
totally.
a disaster. It is a disaster movie.
It's a freaking twister. What do you? Is a twister not a disaster?
No, because I'm thinking about whenever I think disaster movies, I always think of like world-ending ones,
Day After Tomorrow.
like Day After Tomorrow, or like
Good one.
Like
I
2012.
go smaller scale.
What's that volcano one?
I was gonna say Volcano. Yeah,
Is it Volcano?
Volcano LA or something like that.
No, that was
Is
just
that
called
with Tommy Lee
Volcano
Jones?
with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Also,
Let's funnel the lava
The-
into the ocean.
yeah. What was it? It's Peak something. It's
Crimson
with
Peak.
Dante's.
Dante's
Dante's
Peak.
Peak.
Dante's
Dante's
Peak.
Peak.
Yes.
Dante's
with,
Peak.
That's the
Pierce
one I'm
Brosnan.
thinking.
Pierce
That's the one.
Brosnan.
That's the one where they drive the truck into the cave and then his bone arm comes out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one I watched in middle school.
Yeah. So
I remember
Which I
seeing the
shouldn't
dead
have.
body like floating in the water because he boiled
naked.
alive.
It was because they went skinny dipping.
Mm-hmm.
And-
What
'cause
was
it
the
the
solution
springs.
in Deep Impact?
Deep Impact?
Oh
Yeah.
man, I
What was the
forget.
solution? They had to like hide in cage or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, and like
right.
because I know Elijah Wood was in it in that one.
Oh, so the director of Twister is Lee Isaac Chung. He also directed. He will be directing the new Twisters movie.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
And fun fact, he directed an episode of The Mandalorian and will direct an episode of Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
I hope you know what.
Does that make you love Twisters a little more?
In all fairness,
Who go see it?
That's how you win him over.
In all fairness, when,
never doubted
when I
Twisters.
saw when I saw Twisters, I was pretty hyped for it, and then you were super excited about it, and I wanted to be contrarian.
Yeah, don't.
Why?
I literally
Fun
saw
sucker.
Brian likes
I,
it.
no,
Fun
no, no. I
sucker.
saw your message and I literally was just like, I don't need him to be a dick right now. I don't. I
guys
was
have,
actually,
like, a
I was a little bit,
parasitic
I was a little bit,
relationship.
no, I was a little bit, I was a little peeved. I
Well,
was like, yeah.
Toxico.
But then I was reading the messages and I was like, he goes like, it's not a sequel. I'm like, well, doesn't it make it a sequel by making Twister plural? I was like,
And there's two
Yeah, there's
Twisters.
two, yeah.
He was like, "Oh, they added an S. It's obviously a Twister. It's
yeah,
obviously
that's
a sequel."
obviously a sequel.
Look,
And I went, "All right, I guess."
It's all fun and games if you pick once or twice, but Twister's a good movie, and I'm pretty
Yeah, it
excited
looks
for
fun.
that. Yeah, it
And
looks
plus-
fun.
I
And
really
plus
like
you
Twister
have-
is one of my favorite.
And plus, you have Hangman in it from Maverick.
Yeah.
That actor's getting a lot more work, and I'm
Yeah.
happy for him.
Something Powell.
Yeah.
yeah,
Chris-
but I
is
was
it
being
Chris?
contrarian. I'll
Chris
be
Powell?
100% with it.
Is it Chris Powell?
Just like to gaslight people, don't you?
Huh?
Huh?
No.
What?
You know
Who,
what
me?
No, you know what it was? It was because it was only compliments. Like that
Glenn
day,
Powell.
That day,
Glenn
that
Powell.
day,
Glenn
all of us
Powell.
were just like complimenting the things that were happening, and I was like, "This is boring."
Let me stir the pot a little bit.
I mean, for
do
him,
this
it's not a step above Maverick, but it's
fun that he's
getting
getting-
traction.
I
he's
love
What are you
you.
talking
That's
about,
what I
dude?
love about you.
What are you talking about, dude? He's gonna be riding that truck into the Twister. he's gonna
That's
fly
all
it
it
like
is.
a jet.
like, so, like,
Fly it like a jet, man.
Brian
I
said-
saved Tom Cruise in one of these movies. Now I'm about to save the state from Twisters.
I was in a fighter jet, and now I'm in a truck.
I don't know what
You just
direction they can go
imagine-
with this movie, to be honest.
Oh, the ending is clear and obvious, dude. And just like in Top Gun Maverick, when it's all over and you're about to see your last light, he's just gonna appear in the distance, just
and drives around, goes
In the
around
opposite
the Twister's
direction.
opposite
Have you-
direction.
To stop the Twister, he then goes the opposite direction, and then he's like, "Oh, and
Why
then
have
he's
we
like,
not
oh,
done this?"
We won."
Yeah. It's yours. Oh man, you're good. I am good. I'm very good.
You know what?
Have you actually put Maverick on in the background?
It's good. It's a great movie.
You just
great
put it
movie
on in the
background.
background and you'll immediately get hooked.
Yeah.
Immediately get hard.
Yes! You're just walking around. Oh gosh. Oh, God. I gotta stop walking around my house.
Dude, I went to
I'm gonna
watch
grow my
that in
mustache
theaters
for it.
3 times. We went
Really?
together, yeah, and then I went twice by myself.
By yourself, really? I was like, yeah.
That's how you were fully bricked up.
You show that microphone. Give him another one.
That's why he was only allowed to go 3 times.
Look, man, I'm not. I can't deny it. Yeah, was I bricked up for those? Hell yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Oh, sorry, we disrespected it. Academy Award winning
Winning,
Top Gun
that is
Maverick.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
Brian
sorry,
bricked
Tom.
up.
You know, you know what? But honestly, for Twisters, I'm excited. I think that it's gonna be interesting though because it is weird. Where do you go after Twisters?
Yeah, because that was
Like,
the whole
where-
thing
I'm
is like
after Twister.
getting the mapping
Twisties.
of
Well, 'cause
the
you
Twister
map-
so you can predict it.
So you can predict them.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they can now predict them on point.
More,
Like,
yeah,
it's-
because that technology looked like it was more up to date.
Because that would be interesting if that was the reason why he drilled. So that way, because he knew that
So
a
he can
Twister-
release them.
Well,
Yeah.
So that way, because he knew the Twister were going to drop right on top of him. So that would be really interesting if they were like, "Oh yeah, we know exactly when Twisters are coming,"
Plot twist: aliens are creating them.
and then they're like, "Oh, but now, how do we control them to win the war?"
Weaponized natural disasters. That's GI Joe. That's the first GI Joe movie.
Right, yeah.
It's been
That is
done.
actually.
No, that's Geostorm.
Geostorm.
What do you say?
I was looking up the ice cream that Rite Aid sells because I
Yeah.
thought it was Twisters or something like that,
Uh-huh.
but it's called Thrifties.
Oh, Thrifty.
Thrifties,
Yeah.
Thrifties
Yeah.
ice cream.
All right, Nick, I got a job for you as the director. You've got a lot of news still in this one. Try to condense it in 15 minutes.
I can do it.
Okay, so let me go through the stuff real quick, okay?
Fire.
So, alongside those trailers that were released, Deadpool 3 was also seen in the trailer. So some key features about that trailer is it shows us the first look, and it also announces a release date of July 26, 2024.
And also, Dr. Doom's not in the movie.
There's no,
No,
Dr.
that's-
Doom.
that's
There's
not in my
also
positive.
no clear view of Hugh Jackman Wolverine. We only get a shadow. But Easter eggs include a copy of Secret Wars issue number 5. No source actually had that, by the way.
No.
They all showed it, and it's like, it's a Secret Wars comic book.
No.
And I'm like, it's issue number 5.
Ironically,
They're-
you know who did? New Rockstars.
Oh, well,
New
cool.
Rockstars did have it.
I mean, we're also doing it too. So,
I
New
think
Rockstars can suck it.
Nerdrotic also
Yeah.
pointed that out, but he's just
Okay, well,
very
I'm pointing it
meticulous.
out here now. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
And
You're just
We're on the map.
yeah, we're on the map. There we go. And then
Affirmed.
a bottle of soda that Stanley drinks in The Incredible Hulk that ends up killing him also appears next to Deadpool. This trailer became the the most watched movie trailer in 24 hours, accumulating 365 million views, beating No Way Home at 355.5
That sounds
million.
about right. Yeah.
So, alongside this piece of news, I think Marvel wanted to make up for, releasing Madden Web on the world by announcing more Marvel news.
Yeah.
And it was very strange because on Valentine's Day, out of nowhere, just like,
Of all
Randy
days.
Orton, just like Randy Orton with the RKO, they just dropped news on Instagram with a poster of Fantastic Four.
Of
Yeah.
the first family, yeah.
And we get a full cast. Pedro Pascal will be playing Reed Richards. We get a zaddy looking Reed
Yummy.
Richards. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Ebon Moss-Barack as The Thing. They also announced a release date of July 25th, 2025, meaning that it will be competing directly with Superman Legacy. The film is rumored to be taking place around 1963, hinted by a Time magazine cover that The Thing is reading in the poster. Alongside the Fantastic Four reveal, we also get X-Men 97, a full trailer, which
Yeah.
gets released #1 on YouTube at its time of release on its first day. It'll stream on Disney Plus beginning March 20th. Couple notes about this trailer is that it takes place directly after the series finale of the X-Men animated series.
Yeah, after Charles
Apocalypse?
dies.
Well,
R.I.P.
after Charles gets sick.
No,
He gets
he's
sick.
dead.
No, I know. But in the show, he gets sick and then he goes to like a different planet.
And
To,
dies.
like,
And dies.
Yeah, and then dies. Yep.
So he's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead.
You don't need your
The
legs in
synopsis
space. You
literally
just,
says
you
he's
just
dead.
float,
In
so he's
all
fine.
fairness, Charles Xavier comes
Did
back
we see a
from
body?
death all the time.
Did we see a body?
We saw a body, but he can always put his brain into another body.
Just
Right?
like in the
You
comic
can,
books.
Just like in the comics.
Yep. The animation was provided by Studio Mir, who also previously worked on shows like My Adventures with Superman, The Legend of Korra, and Star Wars Visions. I don't think I finished season 2 because the episode they worked on is called Journey to the Dark Head.
Which one was that one?
I cannot remember the synopsis of it.
Journey to
Is that the one?
It's about an apprentice going to the mountaintop,
and he ends up meeting a Sith Lord up there.
okay.
That's in the
watched the second
first season.
It's in the second season.
It's in the second.
Second season. I had to look it up. Yeah. So I got to rewatch it because I don't think I watched that one.
While we're talking about like the Marvel news, look up the synopsis.
Hang on, I'm not done with this because OG voice actors return in as in new roles in this series, including Chris Potter, who is the OG Gambit, will be playing Cable Nathan Summers, and Catherine Disher, the OG Jean Grey, will voice Dr. Valerie Cooper. An Easter egg in this trailer includes a Daily Bugle paper flying in the wind with an article titled "Is Spider-Man a Mutant?" and another written by Eddie Brock with photos from Peter Parker. Cool. What did you want me to look up?
What was the synopsis for that Star Wars Visions one? Is that all? That's all the rest of the news?
That is it for comic strips. So give your take before Madam Web.
Yeah. So for all of this, I mean, Marvel really did a dump. Like they really were like, oh, remember, we're here. And everything else. I think the Pedro Pascal, I think the First Family is awesome. I really do I especially love like the little postcard that they put up on Instagram. That was beautiful. Yeah. I really do, because it kind of gives you the vibe of the movie they're kind of going for, of a very happy Reed Richards, happy Sue Storm. Johnny is gonna be like that, kind of like the kid of the group and everything like that, and then Ben Grimm is gonna, be more stoic and more, less I'm pissed off all the time than the originals. Yeah, and everything else. Deadpool. I mean, what can we say about Deadpool? We're all excited.
Let's make a bingo card. See what kind of cameos. See if there's like any quips. That
you know what?
Might
Honestly,
say.
I would be okay with doing a bingo card. That would be a lot of fun. And then X-Men 97. I was so excited after seeing the thing. I started rewatching the old X-Men TV show. A lot of people were doing that, yeah. And that was so smart too, because it's all up there. I forgot that Sentinels were in the first episode.
Oh yeah.
The Sentinels.
Well, the Sentinels, Gambit,
Rogue in a position.
I love Rogue.
Yeah, I also forgot that the Wolverine, like that Wolverine scene with him like sitting on, like laying on the bed. I forgot that was like episode 4. Like, that's like episode 3 or 4. I did not remember that.
So they briefly mention in the article, because it's going to release on Empire, the April issue with the Star Wars Celebration stuff. Yeah. They mention how Morph is going to be a non-binary character this time around. And people were bringing up the scene because I didn't know people were really pissed off that Wolverine is not the leader and it's Cyclops, but it's like he's always been the leader. It's always been
Cyclops always been the leader.
Yeah, so I don't know where that's coming from.
Literally in the first like 3 episodes of it.
It's just people
Scott Summers.
Love Wolverine.
Yeah.
No one likes Scott Summers.
No.
You don't have to like him.
He's he's just like his father, evil.
But in all fairness, he's a terribly written character. He's a
well-written character that's terrible in the books.
No, but I feel like there's a lot of things of just like we should make Scott Summers just intolerable.
Yeah.
And they put him in like really terrible situations, or they make him just do like really insensitive things where it's like, oh yeah, I know my wife just died, but let me have sex with this, this
other
alien.
telepathic chick.
Yeah, this other telepathic chick.
Psylocke, right?
The fact that he is traumatized by Jean Grey's death, that he has Emma Frost manipulate his brainwaves to think that Emma Frost is Jean Grey and they have sex, and then Jean Grey actually walks in on them.
Yeah. It's terribly wrong.
So the reason I bring up Morph being non-binary and Cyclops being the leader is because there's a GIF that's going around the internet where Cyclops is getting punched by Wolverine in the stomach and no one knows why or what it is. It's basically the sequence where Cyclops makes a decision to leave Morph behind during an explosion.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And Wolverine is like, what the hell's going on? So, yeah, that was it.
Morph comes back like a little bit darker, bags under his eyes.
Well, he has he teams up with
Vendetta.
Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
In the show, and then from there he then like is kind of against the X-Men because they left him, and he becomes a villain for like the second half of like I think season 2.
And then goes back to joining them.
Then
he comes back.
Then he joins them after he realizes that he's being manipulated by Mr. Sinister.
Misunderstanding, guys. Yeah, we're cool.
After he makes a deal with the devil.
I just love the fact that we get Gambit powering up Wolverine's claws.
That was a cool scene.
That was cool.
That was a really cool scene. I'm surprised that he
touch
didn't
my claws.
That would have been so funny if he was
that's
like
a video game.
Charge me up, and then he charges him up, and his hands explode. It's just like,
his skeleton's there. It's just his
that
hands.
seems so
his
cool on
meat's
paper.
Charles, you were wrong. That didn't work.
Hang on.
are Wolverine's organs protected by his adamantium skeleton? Because if he's being charged up, right? Wouldn't the charge just be charging his full skeleton
That's
and
what
then
I'm saying.
he'd
Yeah,
explode?
But
But
exactly,
the only thing left is the adamantium skeleton?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
With
saying.
his
Like he
brain?
would just explode.
Yeah.
Because
It wouldn't just be
on
at his claws and stops at his knuckles.
No.
It would be his whole
it would be his
skeleton
whole-
body.
Well,
He's a giant
maybe.
bomb. He's just a
Maybe.
giant bomb.
I don't know if Gambit has that that much control. Like if he just touches it, if it's only a certain portion. or if it's- I personally don't know.
In all fairness, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's funnier this way though.
For the sake of the joke.
For the sake of the joke, it's way funnier this way.
Sorry, I'm being too analytical.
I'm just like him going like, "Get me!" Ah! And then he goes,
Just a walking metal skeleton, just
Just a
reforming.
and then he goes, "I don't think that worked."
Yeah, bub.
That was awesome.
Let's not do that again.
I don't have another costume. I'm gonna have to walk around naked. Just you just see Scott and he's
healing
like,
back from my monocle from like just my pure like atoms. Not fun.
I would laugh so hard if you see Scott just like, Wolverine, why are you naked? It's just like, I don't want to talk about it.
He's not really naked. He's
Well, I
damn
mean, yeah,
hairy.
he's being covered by just like a pelt.
If a full adamantium coating didn't kill Wolverine in the comics, I don't think
Yeah.
being charged by Gambit's charge energy would kill
What
him.
what was it? What do you think, Rene? What do you think of like the Marvel stuff that came out?
Deadpool looks great. I'm super excited to see where they're gonna go. I'm happy that Ryan Reynolds is getting full control over it.
So far.
From what I've heard, is the marketing aspect is what's gonna be hard.
Wait, weren't you the one that told me that there were issues with him running the third act?
Yes.
As Kevin,
Yeah,
or was it
Bo-
Sean?
It was Sean. He said basically Bob Iger was, poking his little nose in and trying to change the third act or the ending and stuff.
Yeah.
Bob Iger or Kevin Feige?
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger wanted Miss Marvel to show up.
Yeah.
Why is he talking? He has
'Cause he thinks
Disneyland to take care
He
of.
thinks he knows
This
better.
this is another. This is what we were talking about before the show, where he was saying we need more executives on set,
Yeah.
Oh, he's dumb.
and we need to like start like fiddling with
he's
stuff.
stupid.
He didn't want to let him ad lib, but then yet he's coming in with the biggest diss ad lib, saying that you need to acknowledge her much stronger and as the most strong
Yeah,
thing.
so that's what they're trying to do because Miss Marvel isn't selling,
No.
but I do feel like that's more of a Brie Larson thing.
I don't
than
think
it
Brie
is-
Larson is going to be. I don't think she's going to be in this movie.
No,
That doesn't
no,
make
no,
any
no,
sense.
no, 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 because what was it? One, it doesn't make sense, but also Ryan Reynolds, specifically, according to reports,
Yeah.
has said, "Why am I going to put her in this movie? Like logistically, it doesn't make sense why we're putting her in.
No.
We're just throwing you're just throwing cameos in there and hoping that people enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You wanted to know what the Dark Head story synopsis was?
Yes.
It's a hopeful mechanic and delusioned young Jedi team up for a risky and unlikely quest to turn the tide of the galactic war, but dark forces tail them. So that's a synopsis that's generally every Star Wars episode, but this is
that
the
the image?
images. That's the animation.
You know what? I do remember this one. It was okay. It wasn't like the best. Honestly, Vision season 2 was okay.
But I think we're focusing on the animation because
Yeah,
I don't think
the
Studio Mir wrote it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
the animation's is cool. What do you think of the Marvel stuff, Sean?
Oh, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited. Yeah. Bringing some good stuff back. X-Men. I'm excited. Just want to see how many episodes it's going to be. Probably going to be like 8.
Probably 8 or 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
In each season before, it used to be, I think, about 20.
Yeah, what would happen to shows having like 22, 25 episodes a season, and now they're just like,
Studios don't want to shell out more.
Yeah, they don't want. It's too expensive.
but they want more money.
They want to make money.
Yeah, they want to
spend more
make money.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to give it to the actors or writers
No,
or directors.
no.
All for themselves. Bob
Eat the
Iger-
rich.
I
Eat
just-
the rich.
I like to think that Bob Iger actually does have a Scrooge McDuck.
Oh,
and he likes to jump in naked. Not in a bathing suit. He just dives into gold naked.
Just has a concussion.
Yeah.
That's why he's making all these terrible decisions.
Yeah, he comes out and he's like,
Maybe you should really stop trying to swim in your pool full of gold.
No.
no,
Nonsense.
I'm doing it again.
I did it again. Miss Marvel didn't be in the movie.
You know what makes the movie better? Get him out.
He's just sniffing his own farts at this point, man. Oh, God.
Just a tube? Is it just a tube?
Yeah.
And you just...
Oh, guys, I got this great idea. Just check it out.
Just has like a little like dime bag of Coke in his ass. Every time he farts, he just gets a little hit of
plume
Coke.
of smoke.
Yeah.
Woo! I like to think of it as he has like a Sharpie that every so often. Okay, I got an idea.
Where have I seen that? Oh,
There's a TikTok where a guy does it for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yes.
He does it for Pokemon, and he's just like, all right, you guys got
It's
any
ad-libs,
Pokemon?
right?
Yeah, you guys got any Pokemon ideas? And he's like,
I love it. Make your keychain. Oh my God, it's an ice cream cone.
it's great. We're
So
gonna
much
make
money.
millions. We're gonna make billions.
You guys joke about it, but we all know it's real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that's it on comic strips, right?
That is it.
All right.
Nick,
Comic strips is finished.
take over.
All right, man. We have Madam Web. I know. No one wants to talk about this.
No.
Can we wrap up the show?
I loved it.
I'm not gonna lie. Madam Web had us talking the entire time through the movie
Yeah.
because here was the problem. So Madam
Spoilers,
Web.
guys,
Yeah, we're
obviously.
gonna
Major
talk about
spoilers.
spoilers. We're gonna talk about what happened in the movie as a simple synopsis of the movie, just so that way you can understand and you don't have to go watch it.
Don't go
honestly,
watch it, guys. For 2 hours, no.
It feels like 4. So don't go watch it. I honestly, if you want to know how bad it is, maybe wait for streaming. Like if it comes out on streaming, because I'm assuming it's going to be in theaters for like 3 months and then go immediately to streaming.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Give it a month, honestly, and then they're gonna have it on Paramount or something.
Probably. So just the synopsis of it is you have.
I see it going on Hulu.
Yeah, I can see you going on Hulu too. So you have Cassie Webb is our main character. She is a paramedic who is a paramedic with Ben Parker, Peter Parker's uncle. And
Allegedly.
yes, and the beginning of this movie
In
starts
2003.
Yeah, in 2003. So the beginning of this movie starts in 1976, I believe.
It's 70.
It's like 76, 78, 1976, and it starts in the jungles of Peru.
Yes.
Where we find out that apparently this is where they found the spider that bit Peter Parker, and it belongs to an indigenous tribe of spider people.
Los arañas.
Yeah, and she's trying to look for this because apparently it has like healing properties. She's betrayed by by Ezekiel, murdered, and they use one of the spiders to bite. Cassie Webb's mom when she's pregnant, which I thought was also really weird.
9 months pregnant. This
Yeah,
woman is 9 months pregnant in the jungle.
In the jungle, and I was like, this is just irresponsible. And she bites her, and then they say, "Oh, we'll be here for when she comes back."
Yeah,
she
she's gonna have
goes.
questions.
She's a paramedic. She falls into the water, almost dies, and then it awakens her powers. She has powers of reading into the future, and she then sees the murder of 3 spider women. By Ezekiel, and the rest of the movie is pretty much her keeping them safe, kind of. 'Cause she kind of makes some real weird. The entire movie, she just does not want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like the entire time, it's like, oh yeah, Ezekiel has murdered cops.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I'm gonna drop you off at your friend's house.
Well, it was so weird that it's such a cop out. They decide to write her like that. Of like, oh, I help people, but I don't really care.
Yeah,
I
like,
hate kids.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hate to feel my feelings. Like,
Yeah.
Just take the
kinda thing.
paper from the
Yeah.
kid. Like, thanks for saving my mommy,
And-
by the
and
way. Here you
apparently-
are. What am I
apparently
going to do with that?
It all rooted from her thinking that her
Mom hated her?
Yeah, her mom hated her and never wanted her. And something
But
like
you know
that.
what you know what it's a very interesting idea of kind of going like her mom hated me because in near the end of the movie she goes back to Peru.
Yeah.
Mind you, she is a wanted woman in New York.
Yeah.
And she's a wanted woman in New York.
Yes.
In 2003.
Yes.
2 years after the World Trade
Well,
Center.
we don't know if in that version of Earth 9/11 happened.
9/11 happened.
Okay, let's go with that.
There was no World Trade Center. I'm assuming it happened. So
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. So here's my thing. she got on a plane and she flew to Peru.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh,
In a time in
these
America,
edit.
kids,
Quick
our
edit.
lives are in danger.
I'm gonna leave to Peru for a week.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave them with Ben, a person that I trust and care, but also love that he could possibly die as well too.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go to Peru for a week because I need to find the answers.
So she
Need to
goes.
find myself.
So she goes back to Peru, and then
I need to eat, pray, love.
She needs to. No, she needs to get her groove back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She needed to get her groove back.
She
That's
didn't
what it
have a
was.
groove to begin with. She
So,
did not.
Here's the interesting thing: is that the entire the movie is meant for you to know that Peter Parker is around, but never say his name.
Yeah.
They bring up all of his
We
relatives.
can't
No
say
Aunt May.
Peter. We can't say Spider-Man, and we can't say with great power comes great
responsibility, but you can
They
say
love to teeter-totter that.
Yeah.
because you can say with great responsibility comes power,
Yeah.
which I'm like, oh, that's a loophole.
Yeah.
Guys.
And then you also you have Richard Parker, which also you have a wife who's 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Why did you go on a business trip?
Right?
You
And
were a
he
bad
didn't
dad.
know how to help somebody with when their
Oh.
water breaks and you're a paramedic. Like what?
Because I yelled it in the movie theater, and I'm almost positive because the movie theater we went to was halfway full. It was like half full.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they hated us.
Yeah, I heard some people like snickering.
Yeah, snickering in the back. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, because there's a scene where so Peter Parker's mom, Mary Parker, is pregnant with Peter at the time. She's 9 months pregnant, and her water breaks in the middle of this movie. I mean, at the end of this movie. And Ben Parker is a paramedic. And when her water breaks, he acts like any dude who's in that situation.
Yeah.
Of like, what do I do?
Where's your training?
Yeah, and then his training just goes out the window, which also didn't make sense to me either. He called the paramedics, then left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He called because the paramedics show up afterwards, and then Cassie Webb steals the ambulance and then drives off.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did he?
What was the whole point of calling the?
Because that was the thing
paramedics,
too
yeah.
of like, if she's like, oh, if he doesn't get me to the hospital right now, I'm going to have this baby. I would have been because he has a paramedic bag upstairs. I'm assuming he goes, all right, we'll have the baby then. Like, I got you.
Yeah.
Like,
Fill
let's
up
do
the tub
this.
with water. Let's do a water birth.
Yeah,
let's go.
Like, I got
mind
this.
you, though, Ezekiel is coming after these young girls because he had a vision that these
Yes.
young girls had spider powers and they are the result of his own
And
death.
that's his arc.
That's his arc. And I was telling Bryan, I go, okay, I feel like I hated the whole idea of Ezekiel is a villain, a full-fledged villain. I thought they're gonna go a route of like, oh, he's a villain, but he's not the real villain.
He's more of a goon, really.
Yeah. So then I was saying to Bryan, I go, okay, this is what I would have done. I would have written it better of like, okay, if I truly had to make Ezekiel a villain, I would have done it where he didn't have a vision of Spider Woman, but he had a vision of Spider-Man had a part to play in his death. Not the reasoning, but had a part. So that's why he goes after, instead of the girls, he goes after an unborn Peter Parker.
That would
Way
have
more sense.
That would have made it more palatable.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also I think if Ezekiel would have had a vision, kind of like how Cassie Webb has a vision in the very beginning, where it's just things.
Yeah.
Because it shows the S that you see at the very end.
Yeah, you see the
It
fireworks.
Shows the
Mhm.
fireworks.
Yeah.
It shows and it would
The
have been
blood
all
on the
that.
hands.
The blood on the hands, and it shows you all these all like just fragments of things, and then you kind of have to put it together yourself. If you would have been seeing that, and that was a reoccurring nightmare, and then him falling and hitting the ground, then I would have been like, okay, all he sees are faces. He doesn't see these spider women as spider women, and then it would have kind of been like okay for him to go like, oh yeah, I need to kill these people because obviously they're the ones that are in charge. Yeah, they have a bigger part to play in my death, and then it not connecting to Cassie Webb.
Yeah,
and everything else. It was really weird because as we were going through this movie, we noticed that there was so much editing. Like this movie really suffered from just bad ADR, which is when you voice record after the movie is already done. So you have a scene that you have, and then after they need like a clip of you saying something to get you to the next scene, so or like to add something to it, so
Do
they
you
then
think-
record it. And honestly, when they had Ezekiel talking, it happened a lot where
Yeah.
either his volume kept jumping because it was a lot of ADR, or it was just blatant because there would be scenes where you see him talking and his lips wouldn't move, and you were like, "Wait, what?"
That's what I was thinking. It's funny you mention that. I'm thinking that right now. If that's why they gave him more scenes with him in his suit.
I think so.
Yeah, because he has a lot more scenes in his suit than he does out of the suit.
Yeah,
True that.
Because there was the beginning there was a part where he's literally in the suit. He gets into the suit, but we don't get to see him in the suit. But then after the whole subway thing happens, he's out of the suit completely.
right. Like he just took it off, and then he
Yeah,
was just
and
like,
that's it. And he's back in his casual suits. That's
And
the thing.
you
The
know
movie
what?
doesn't explain itself.
You know what I think though? I
A
think
lot of stuff.
I
think
think
they
he was
reshot
originally.
that.
I feel like he was originally supposed to fight. I feel like it's at some point of this movie he was never in the suit.
Yeah.
I feel like
Probably
the
not.
suit was added in reshoots.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
and the only reason I feel like that would happen is because probably in the movie
Mm-hmm.
people didn't realize that this was connected to Spider-Man. And they were like, well, we need a connection to Spider-Man in some way, shape, or form. What if he has a proto-Spider-Man
Yeah.
suit that kind of looks like it? And then everybody would be like, oh, it's like an evil Spider-Man.
Yeah, and you could tell though, like the reasoning behind his suit design was because what he saw when he was in
the
Peru.
jungle.
He saw the natives.
I get
yeah.
that
I was like,
inspiration.
okay, yeah. And,
Okay.
But there was one blatantly looking like Spider-Man. I
Yeah.
was like,
You know what I thought was really funny, though? He never saw the natives.
Didn't he?
No,
I thought
because he
like-
leaves.
He knew about them because he
But
was
they-
he was telling her about it, and
but
she's
they
like,
were
"Oh, you
rumor.
believe that?"
But they were rumors.
I'm pretty sure
They-
there's like some. If there's rumors, there's like vague descriptions.
Maybe
The movie
that's
doesn't
fine.
explain itself.
My only thing that doesn't make sense to me as well is that they were because so Cassie's mom gets shot,
Yeah.
right? He then leaves with the spider.
Mm-hmm.
Almost immediately, the spider people come down,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "Oh, let's save her. Don't worry about him." Even though
he left
took,
with the spider.
even though he took a spider,
Yeah.
and he was unworthy, and then they just kind of went like,
I thought.
"We'll get him later." Like,
and they're
I
booking
thought
it
at
through
some
those
point-
through those trees. They
Yeah.
could have caught him.
I thought at some point I knew they weren't going to show us how the girls got, or how the girls
get their powers.
get their powers, but I thought they were going to at least allude to how they would get it. Not show they're going to get them,
Yeah.
but kind of like show like, oh, because I thought it had to do with Ezekiel's spider
But
at some point.
But
And
you
I
know
was
what? When we were talking with Bryan about it, Bryan had a good point of it really did catfish you in a way because there was a lot of promo. And
yeah,
there was
the
a lot of
marketing,
scenes.
the marketing was a lot of them in their suits.
There's a lot of like and then also even in those what was it in those in the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff online that was behind the scenes, and then they're talking about her dropping.
Yeah,
her
she
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to be
ballerina.
dropped down from the
Big
ceiling.
emphasis in like how she wanted her character to do that.
Yeah, and it was like, oh yeah, I wanted her to be a ballerina because in
Yeah.
the comic she is a ballerina, so I wanted her to drop and everything else, and it's that single scene of her falling.
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh okay, cool. So she's gonna be in the suit and she's gonna do.
Yeah,
everything
we're gonna
else
see them
because-
fight him.
Yeah, we're gonna see like they're gonna get their powers and then they're gonna fight, and it's like, no, dude, like you get this one scene where she's dropping.
Yeah.
That's the only scene we get.
Well, I'm kind of happy that they didn't show them get their powers, because I thought it was because like, oh wow, okay, so we're gonna get Spider-Woman early on because it's Madam Web interfering with like the timeline or something like that,
Right.
and speeding up the process. But no, that's not how it works.
But-
They still it ends with them like knowing that they do have a bigger purpose later on.
Destined for greatness.
Yeah, they're destined for great responsibility.
But that's the thing, though, is that why my thing was that because by the end of the second act, we pivot and we sideline these three characters.
Yes, yeah.
So what was the point of having them really?
Right?
If you're gonna at the end of this movie
And
pivot
it's
and then
the
just have
studio.
them as like, oh, we're just gonna pivot. Like, oh, I'm not gonna because I feel like
It's
they were,
a Madam Web movie on top of that as well too.
but
Like,
it's mostly about these women, about
that's
these
the
three
thing.
spider women.
Yeah.
So quick interjection. There
Yeah.
was a thread that I found on Twitter that went through all the marketing ploys that the marketing team did for this movie.
Right.
And what stood out a lot was that they kind of played on the memes. So, for example, the "my mother went to Peru to study spiders before she died" line.
Yes.
That was memed. Apparently, they used that. One of the actresses made a Valentine's Day card, like an e-card, and posted it on Instagram using some rhyme to that quote. According to Dakota Johnson, she's also hasn't seen the movie, and she probably won't watch the movie, even though she has been the face of marketing for most of it.
Have you seen the TikTok of Dakota Johnson talking to the camera?
Yeah.
And then she goes, "You're gonna love Adam Webb.
You're gonna see it.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna love it."
Oh, I've seen.
You're gonna see it 3 times.
Yeah,
Did
you're
you
gonna want to
see
see
her?
it and you want to see it again. And then
I've seen her interviews.
but the thing is that people have have stitched it where like because she's looking and the way that she looks, she's like. And she kind of like licks her lips and then and then
This isn't 50 Shades of Grey.
Somebody stitched it and was like, "Is this Ad trying to have sex with me?"
So did you
Is
hear a
sleep with
joke
me?
that she did for her SNL,
SNL.
monologue?
Oh yeah,
Or-
like what was it? Well, there was
Madam
this,
Web is the AI is a movie that AI wrote for your something about your boyfriend's fantasies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everything else. I thought it was also really funny too that they let SNL joke about it, of the fact of, oh yeah, like are you just gonna use another movie where Sydney Sweeney's in it so that way you can get a job? And I was like, whoa, like that's like I can't believe that Sony was like, yeah, that's cool, go ahead, like
Even
make fun of this movie.
They did a promo with Raven Simone. She did a TikTok reel where she gets a call from a spam number, and then she's like, "Oh, hey, Madam Web marketing team, what? How'd you know? How did I know it was you? It's because I could see into the future. She can also see into the future.
That's so
But
Raven of her.
But that my my big thing for this movie though is that at a certain point, I thought it was funny when we were talking about it afterwards, and I really did feel like when we make our skits for the channel, that we take more thought into how we get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times where just like stuff skips and it just happens and everything else. Like there's a scene in the movie where she's being a paramedic and she can see into the future.
Yeah.
And she has blood on her hands and she keeps on seeing it. Also as a paramedic, the only thing she knows how to do is do CPR. She just knows how
Only thing.
It's the only thing she
thing.
really knows how to do. As a paramedic, that's the only thing we've seen, and drive an ambulance. But the big thing was that there's a scene where Mike Epps is in this movie.
I know, randomly
Nobody
in this movie.
Mike Epps is in this movie as a paramedic commander, in charge of the paramedics. And he's gonna get into an ambulance, and then she goes, "Don't get in." She goes, "Let me drive. Don't get in the." And he goes, "You're freaking out. Relax." Gets into the ambulance, drives 5 feet.
Yeah.
And then just gets demolished by this semi. And it's so
I thought it was a garbage truck. Oh no.
it was either a semi or a garbage truck. I'm not
Something
entirely.
big.
It was some kind of a 6-wheeler.
Yeah.
And the thing that didn't make sense is because after the accident happens, you can then see the geography of the map of like where
That
their
street.
location, and you see the street that the semi is going down. And mind you, the semi is hauling it. It is going maybe 60 miles an hour because it slams into this ambulance. He's going 60 miles an hour into a lake.
Where was he going?
Like literally,
What did he have to do?
It's the bay, and then the street is right here, and the bay is right here, and you're just kind of going like, where were you going? You were racing 60 miles an hour towards a fire.
Yeah.
And then a lake was right behind it. Yeah. The Hudson Bay was right behind it. And so it's kind of like no one thought, hey, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Let's move the geography of this semi coming a certain way or any.
Let's change the background.
Well, not only that, but also, you know what also would have made sense too? What about if Mike Epps was like frustrated and then he opened a door and then a backdraft happened and it burned him and then like that's what got him. Or
Well, she still needs to do
chest
chest compression,
And
so
then-
I mean,
which also happened, which was funny too, because after Mike Epps gets hit, he's bleeding. He's bleeding everywhere.
She pulls
And
him out.
She pulls him out of the out
Which
of
you
the
should not
car,
do.
Which you shouldn't do. You should check them.
Yeah.
Not only that, but then he's bleeding profusely. So then she goes, "I know how to save him. Chest compressions." Which
ha, ha, ha. Staying alive, staying alive. Oh, wait, this is the opposite now. He's dead.
Yeah, and I thought it was so funny because I was telling Sean later, I was like, oh, that's why she didn't want to go to his funeral because she murdered him.
Yeah.
Because he's still bleeding and I'm pumping on his heart, which means that the blood's coming out.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I mean though. This movie didn't, it felt like people were going like, wait, but that doesn't make sense. And then they were like, shut up. They'll believe it. Like, don't worry about making sense. This is a Spider-Man movie.
Why was he rich? Where did he get all this money from?
You know what?
I just want to know how he was so rich.
You mentioned, I don't know, because in the movie, Ezekiel is just so rich and everything else. And also, I didn't
Got
realize.
a nice car.
Yeah, he has a really nice car. Also, I did not know you can get laid from just holding a menu away from somebody.
Yeah.
Like, apparently that's
A lot
move.
gets you laid.
Apparently that's a move, because he sits next to a random woman at an opera.
He gets with the cougar.
Yeah, a random woman is there. He then
falling.
sees a pamphlet on the floor, and then he goes to go give it to
Yeah.
her, then holds it back, and then she laughs, and then he gives it back to her, and then they go back to his house and they have sex.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay,
Was that just
sure.
and then just
Spider
and
pheromones.
And then it came to find out that she worked for like the
the
government.
NSA?
Yeah.
And there's a facial recognition program
Software.
that he needed.
That
And he
was
uses
not
that to-
drawn.
yeah.
Those were photos of the girls.
Yeah, it was funny
Like-
because
Oh yeah, we use the computer to find out how these women
From your
my-
description.
from your description how these women will look, and then like it shows, and it's just a photo from the day.
Yeah,
like
and,
somebody went like,
and she goes like, "Oh, I also worked on what they look like without their masks."
Yeah.
And
And
she
what they
just-
look like today.
yeah, and then she
It's
just
like-
pushes it, and it just goes back to the same
Yeah.
photo, without the mask. So, but that's what I mean though. There was just a lot of logic that just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
There wasn't like the whole thing of when she goes to Peru. And then he goes, I don't understand how she's been hiding them for a week. Where could she have hidden them? And then you see that they're all at Ben Parker's house.
Yeah.
And he's been keeping them inside. Logically, if you were searching somebody and you know that Cassie Webb is the one that has been hiding them, wouldn't you go to the people she knows?
Yeah.
And
Be
then
stealthy.
go,
You're in a black suit and you're a spider. Crawl on the walls.
Yeah.
Peek in. Do some reconnaissance.
yeah, like, I don't know, turn on like a camera in his area. I don't know. There's like, you say that you have access to every camera in the city.
Yeah.
ATMs have cameras. I just don't understand how you didn't check Ben Parker's house.
Yeah.
He like honestly, and then and that's the only reason he finds out is because Mary Parker goes into labor and he needs to leave. And so he then leaves, and then she gets caught by a security camera.
Yeah.
And then that's how they get found. But that's what I mean, though. Logic just isn't in this movie.
No.
They don't care about logic.
For a lot of the movie, this guy does. There is no logic.
Yeah, and not only that, but and like I said before, it's a lot of really bad ADR.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Like
Within the first 10 minutes, we got like 3 parts of it or 2 parts, and I'm already over it.
I told you because you didn't.
I didn't catch it at first.
You
No.
didn't see it at first, and it had happened twice.
Yeah.
In the very beginning of the movie, and then I turned over to Sean and I go, "Do you notice that he's talking, and his lips aren't moving?" And then he goes, "What?" And he then goes, "I'm gonna look for it." Yeah. And then he then turns to me and he goes, "I can't not see it now. Like it just keeps happening."
Yeah.
It just keeps
My
happening.
mind's looking for it
like,
now,
I'm
and I just
looking
see
for
it.
it, and I can see that he's not talking, and he's talking in the movie. And so, this is a movie where no one cared.
Yeah.
Like this was we are going to make a buck. Like 100%.
They're not. $80 million to make this movie, and I want their returns
Honestly,
to be like.
I felt like I was watching what was it? Springtime for Hitler at a certain point from the producers. Like honestly, I really did feel
Money laundering.
Like it was money laundering. Like there
Yeah.
was like we need this as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna say we put 80 million in this movie, but we're really gonna use like 10, and then from there we're just gonna pocket the other 70 because honestly, $80 million, and I do not see it anywhere on the screen. I
No.
really don't.
That quality. Oh my gosh, our phones record better than whatever they did with, like to capture that film.
Not only that, but also the
IMAX. We saw it in IMAX,
Oh, yeah.
and it was terrible.
I have never seen a movie where it looked worse in IMAX.
Yeah.
Like where legitimately I was like, I should have seen this in standard definition because I feel like the movie would have looked better.
I know the spiders look so bad.
The spiders looked really bad.
Yeah.
The CGI when they were fighting was really
when they're
bad.
going through the trees in Peru,
Oh, yeah,
that was like,
yeah.
Yeah, everything was just kind of a blur.
she's getting whipped around. She's like just floating in the water, and it's that whole CG side of her face.
Yeah,
that's
like the
gross.
CG face replacement was like really bad. That's what I mean though, is that at a certain point, somebody had to sit in the room and go, "What do we do?" They had to have that George Lucas moment of like, "Well, I can't cut it." Like there had to be, because so many people saw this movie, and the worst part about it is that they have other movies coming. There is another movie because we were talking.
I hope not.
We were talking about it, and on the way back to the shop, so that way we could record this. I didn't even think about it, and I think Rene, you said it.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Well, we still have Craven the Hunter."
Yeah. We still have.
And then
still have one in the chamber.
he was like, "It's like having one in the chamber, just waiting to get shot." And I was driving, and we were at a red light, and I went, "Oh God, you're right."
Yeah.
How we still have one more from
Still have
Sony?
one more. Yeah.
We still have one more, but the thing is that this movie does not give me hope for that movie.
No.
Because they're gonna be in the same, I'm assuming, universe ish. Yes, Brian. I saw you kind of shake your head.
This movie is what got you to think that there was no hope for Craven. Not the fact that the trailer came out.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
The trailer was
Okay.
bad, but
And
compared
not
to
to
Madam
mention
Web,
The
Okay.
script was leaked too. Yeah.
The script was leaked.
Yeah.
In my defense, yes.
So this movie was the last straw.
This was really
Okay.
the last straw.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
misspoke.
better.
This is really the last straw. Because the problem is that we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And I feel
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
about it because we have to watch it because it's the nature of the show.
Yeah,
So
we watched
bear
that,
in
so you guys
mind,
don't have to.
I was the one that recommended Morbius.
You did.
You were the one, because I didn't want to watch
was
Madam
so
Web.
upset.
I didn't want to watch Madam Web,
Yes.
but you said we have to do it for the content.
did. Yeah.
So one
I
of
did.
you two now have to encourage us to go watch Craven.
Because
Oh, we
You-
have
no,
to.
you-
Yeah,
we're
we have
going.
Okay, so
to.
it's your
We're-
job,
We're
Rene.
going to.
It's my job.
Yeah.
because we're gonna struggle. Like
All right,
we're gonna
I'll
really
go see it, guys. Don't have to come then.
I'm not gonna let you take that.
I'm not gonna let you take that bullet. Like
We're gonna
This-
smoke.
oh, you know
and
what?
th-
Honestly,
that'll.
I
I don't.
better.
You know what? But I was telling you too. I don't think that would have helped this movie.
Yeah, even
Because
then, yeah.
Because sometimes I know I was the most
Have you tried acid?
vocal.
No.
No. Oh, wow.
I know in that movie I was definitely the most vocal. Because I heard somebody laugh from when I talked. Because
Yeah.
because at the very end of the movie, her plan is that there was a fire at a fireworks
Oh
warehouse.
my gosh! Don't even.
And
get
then
me
she
started.
then says the warehouse is in which the warehouse has fireworks which are dangerous.
something
And
grade quality of
like
fireworks.
some kind of like grade of quality, and they're very dangerous, and they're in a very structurally unsound building.
Yeah.
And then I yelled out in the movie, "Still, you're still there?" And I heard somebody above just start dying. Like, yo, why are they?
he's right.
Yeah, like, why are they still there? Because logistically, it didn't make sense.
No,
Like,
the fact that they're there still, they
Yeah,
didn't
it-
burn.
they didn't burn. It was, and not only that, but also from the fire that they were talking about in the very beginning of the movie, it was like firefighters were trapped and they were like die, and they were about to die, and it was too dangerous for your paramedics to get in there.
Yeah.
But the fire was only really at the entrance.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looked like. So, like logistically, this movie is a mess.
Oh, and you could just walk into the factory. There
Yeah.
was no gate. There was no caution tape. Zero security.
Somebody's getting sued. Somebody's getting sued at the end of it.
The person who owns that firework building is the true villain.
Not
of
only
movie.
that, but also I'm really wondering how by the end of this movie, that Cassie Webb wasn't in jail. Like they never cleared her for kidnapping.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also now they have her on arson charges.
Yeah.
Because she burned down a building.
Well, he saw that she was blind and in a wheelchair. It's like, oh, that's bad.
She's not going to be hurting anyone
She's not-
anymore.
I mean,
It's like, I think she paid her price.
so yeah, so
The true villain.
I was laughing at the end of this movie. I was dying at the end of this movie because what was it like? Her plan succeeds. She's able to beat Ezekiel.
Yeah.
She saves the girls.
Duck. Hold
then-
on.
Yeah, she's able to
Boom,
like.
blocking
She's floating in the water,
everything.
and she's like, I did it.
I thought it was funny too. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the movie
Uh-huh.
where she's holding it like Captain. She's holding
Yes.
it like
Oh,
Captain
yeah.
America. But I thought it was super funny because there's no hand placement to put it. So where the camera sees it and you can see a loop. That's because you can see her hand like this, not like this, and then it turns the camera, and then you see her holding it a different way.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But yeah, so she falls into the water, and then immediately gets hit in the face by
Like
a firework.
Yeah.
And then I screamed out, "Didn't see that one!"
No.
Yeah. And then the movie ends.
And then
just-
the movie
she like
ends.
practically adopts the girls at the
Yeah.
end of
Which
the movie.
you can't do that. They have
Taking you from
family.
your
Right.
parents. Your mother doesn't.
well, technically,
your mother's AWOL.
one has deported parent, and then a dead parent, and then the other one is just
She
they're
still has
so
parents.
rich. They're so rich and busy they don't even worry about.
So my
it.
question
Yeah.
is that does she pay for all their stuff?
Probably.
Probably, I'm
Yeah.
collecting
That makes
disability.
sense.
She's collecting disability
Yeah.
and she's paying for everything.
Yeah.
And then it kind of shows like what the future is going to hold and how dare they? How dare they assume that there's going to be a sequel
No.
to this movie?
Ambitious.
I feel like that was the biggest scar against this.
No after credit scene, so
Yeah, no,
don't stick
yeah,
around.
no.
Yeah, just
There's
leave.
nothing after.
Just leave.
Yeah.
Brian,
If you
real
haven't
quick,
already.
what was your what's your thoughts on this movie? Anything else?
Honestly, I was just more frustrated than anything.
What frustrated you the most?
The fact that I had to sit through this movie, like legitimately, it frustrated me because so many elements of this movie, you guys went over them, just completely. It felt like a time waster. My biggest issue was how could you put 4 women in the screen and just think of them as objects?
Yeah.
Because they're
Mind you, these are actors portraying teenagers.
Yes.
Yes.
Too, yeah.
16-year-olds.
So my biggest issue where I lost it was when Cassie was training the girls on CPR.
Oh yeah.
And I had to stop you because I didn't want you to say what you were going to say.
I was laughing so hard.
You were
Morgan, I
laughing.
was
dying.
It's
After the
because
podcast,
so essentially what was in that scene, the first girl takes over after Cassie, and
The
I start.
angle, they did it so dirty.
It was
with the
softcore.
angle.
Yeah,
it was softcore.
It wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't say softcore, but I mean,
No, it was
like,
softcore.
Just the way that they're angled because they're pushing
Yeah.
their chest.
It's
closer.
suggestive.
It's
very
not-
suggestive.
That's
very.
the thing. You're getting it from behind, cut off.
Yeah.
So you don't see the arms down. You just see the motion.
gyrating.
Not only
Yeah.
that, but also like because in CPR you're supposed to do it with your arms.
Yeah.
You're supposed to like put it down. They're doing it with their bodies. And
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this, and if someone comes up to me and says like, "Well, what are you just saying that we can't put women in front of the screen without you guys thinking of
No.
it dirty?"
No,
Here's the
it was
thing:
so blatant.
if the point was to teach everyone or teach the 3 girls how to do CPR
incorrectly.
incorrectly,
Yeah.
second, you don't need to spend 5 minutes of the film to teach CPR when it's only going to be used for 5 seconds at the end of the movie to save her life.
Right.
Yeah, and
So you could have just used 2, but the fact, and you can tell that there was a little bit of intention to it because the order was the 2 other girls and then Sydney Sweeney was the last one. And when Sydney Sweeney took over, I had to look away and be like, I'm done. I can't do this. This is just so
you know
dumb.
what? To go off of your point, Brian, I have never seen a movie so yay women power, like yay women, everything like that, and objectify them in the same stroke.
Yeah.
What did you say? Sydney Sweeney's character was...
Oh yes, her character was dressed like she was coming off or going into a porn set. Like
Yeah, where it was just
It's-
it's the classic.
it's like
school
we're
Britney
gonna
Spears
grab
schoolgirl.
a
Yeah.
young-looking girl and make her look like a teenager.
There was
Yeah.
I think Britney Spears actually does dress like that in one of her music
Yeah,
videos.
she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
So if that was the
I don't think it was
throwback,
toxic.
sure.
I guess. Yeah,
But
I think
it
is
just
toxic.
Is it?
it just doesn't fit the
Soundtrack was good.
normal, Like, especially in her situation
Yeah.
with what she was dealing with, because she's
the
a
thing,
runaway.
too.
I don't
the
think
type
she
of
would,
character she was. You're blatantly kind of like making her the girl next door, or the kind of like the quiet, shy girl that's super smart. But I'm gonna sexualize her by putting her a short skirt on.
That was the other thing too, is that Sydney Sweeney was the body, and then the other two had personality.
Yeah, the rebel,
and
then the brain.
And then she was, and I guess if you were gonna go like Baby Spice, like
Yeah.
like if you were to kind
she
of
was
go with the
Baby
spice,
Spice.
like the spice, where she's just like, oh no, what am I doing? But also, she knows physics.
Yeah.
So it's Isabel Merced who plays Anya. That's one of the girls, and Celeste O'Connor that plays Maddie. Who's
It's such
the
a
other
shame
girl.
too, because Isabella I really like in Instant Family.
She's really great.
She's
in Instant
so
Family.
good in that movie, and I was really excited to see her in this movie.
Oh, I knew she wasn't gonna do.
And
To be fair, I think I said this at the end when we finished watching the movie. I don't think the women were terrible actresses. I think that they have the potential to do really well. Even Dakota Johnson, who gets a lot of flack, you can tell that this movie was written very, very poorly, and the way that they were given the lines, there was no direction in the delivery. So they were just said, read the lines in this scene. Cool. Let me just go ahead and read this part where all of them are in the cab, and I'm going to choose not to be a part of this group, so I'm going to go. She stops. Okay, get out. Wait, never mind. You guys can't get out. Let's just go back again.
yeah,
It's
and
so
then-
dumb.
And then it was like, oh, this isn't a kidnapping, and it just kind of feels like a kidnapping.
Can we talk about the campfire?
Oh
No, we gotta
yeah,
wrap.
Damn.
we got to wrap up real quick. They did set a forest on fire.
Right.
The immortal campfire that was still
Really,
burning.
Renee, last thoughts before we close up.
Just it was like I was really forcing myself to watch it at this point. But overall, yeah, I have no faith in the Sony movies. Sony Spider-Man movies. It seems like basically what hurts every single one of these movies is that it doesn't have Spider-Man in there.
Yeah, that is kind of like
Yeah.
the biggest
Which
slant
is
against it.
this one was supposed to be a prequel, but then they doubled down and basically was like, we want to focus more on the Spider Women than Spider-Man, because I think they were afraid that basically everyone was going to be like, oh
Yeah, I've never seen a movie that has done that before.
yeah.
Sean, last thoughts?
I give it 2 cans of Raid out of 5.
2 cans of Raid out of
And that's
5.
still not enough Raid to kill them.
Yeah. What was it? I once again, I don't feel like this movie is worth you spending the money. If you guys are gonna watch it, don't watch it in IMAX. I know
Don't shell out for IMAX.
don't shell out for IMAX.
Don't shell out for Dolby.
It honestly,
Dolby
if you
Digital.
are
Pirate
gonna
Bay,
go, if
bootleg
you,
it.
if you do want to go support the actresses and support the people that still worked on it and everything else, wait for like Tuesday where like the movie's $5 and go see it at like a matinee.
I had a lot of people tell me they were going to do that. They're going to wait for $5 night, essentially. Yeah.
Wait for $5 night. Wait for a matinee. Do not shell out for the full.
No.
Yeah, I mean, and
Don't do that to yourself.
Not only that, but also if you need to go to the restroom, go for it during the movie.
Yeah, you're not gonna miss anything.
You're not gonna miss a whole lot.
I was trying not to do that because I didn't want to see everything, but I didn't want to be like, okay, what?
Well, where was I?
Yeah.
How were you when you got back?
It was a real yeah.
You left too.
He left. I left in the credits.
Oh, yeah.
I left for a quick smoke break.
How was that? Well, and did you know where you were?
Yeah. I mean, like when I came back from.
Yeah, like when you came back, were you lost?
No, not at all. Because I mean, I kind of. Yeah, I wasn't. I tuned out most of it, and I was just trying to find something interesting. But no, don't watch this movie if you respect yourself, and if you don't, still don't watch this movie.
Go watch Morbius instead. 'Cause
No.
Wait, hang on.
It's Morbin time.
Hang on.
It's morbid.
So right now, Morbius sits at a 15% Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb is a 5.2 out of 10. Madam Web sits at a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.8 out of 10 on IMDb. So
Sounds
Madam
about
Web
right.
is technically worse
Dang,
than
dumpster fire.
Morbius.
Yeah, big
It is a
time.
dumpster fire.
What issues?
Can I end the podcast on a good news?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's cleanse our palates for a second, and I don't think there's much discussion on this, but there is a rumor going around that Nicolas Cage is in talks to play the live-action Spider-Man noir.
Yes.
Dude, sick.
There we go. So there might be hope for.
I would be so
want
happy. I would be so happy if we do a live action Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage. Nicolas Cage needs to be more superheroes.
Yeah, totally.
I miss him. I wanted him.
I would do that.
Superman
I
and
would see that.
everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's go ahead and close out.
this has been Keeping Up with the Nerds.
Oh, hold up. I was supposed to. Why did you got to close out with the where people can find us? Oh, come on, dude.
My bad. All right. Well, we're gonna close out, and we're gonna close out this episode. Everybody, I hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed what you listened to. Make sure you can go ahead and find us at Facebook and Instagram at keepingupwiththenerds.com. You can also go to X and catch up with us there. If you want to see the live, if you want to see the images and video of our skits and everything else, go to youtube.com/keepingupwiththenerds. Which are Keeping Up with the Nerds. Also, keep up with us. Make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button. If you want more content, go to our website at keepingupwiththenerds.com.
Give us a like. Leave a comment.
Give us a like. Give a comment. If you went to go see Morbius, did you like it? Would you?
What was your least favorite part about Morbius?
If you went to go
Please.
see Madam Web or Morbius, tell us what your favorite parts are.
Yeah. What did you like?
What did you like? It's probably the first date scene. All right, Sean, you ready to close this out?
Yeah, episode number
186.
186. There we go.
I know it this time.
Good job. Good job. You're in the director's seat.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's get this done.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 186. I'm Sean.
Rene.
Nick.
And signing out from Undercity Comics, we will see you next time. Peace.